Marcus Speaks.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Marcus Speaks Live, the very podcast that gives you uh, trending topics and other random things. So, how are you guys doing tonight? Man, I have a great show lined up for you guys tonight. I don't want y'all to go anywhere. I want you guys to stay right here. I want to be interactive as well. I want you guys' 2 cents to be in this. So, I gotta do something real fast with my camera. Did something last night. I was supposed to bring it back to where I had it. So let's do that right now. All right. Hopefully that's better. Now, if you guys have seen the thumbnail, then you guys should already know what's going on. But before we do that, let me get my theme music rocking so I can get to these promotions and then we can get into today's show. All right, so everybody, welcome to Marcus Speaks Live. All right, please like this video, share this video, and subscribe if you are new here. Share this to all your family and friends in your respective social medias. Also, if you could, please do a friendly reminder. Every Friday and Saturday, I do streams. So Friday stream is usually my game stream. That hasn't been going too well these past couple of weeks. So hopefully next week everything's better. But Saturday, this here stream, Marcus Speaks Live, the podcast that you are watching right now, also comes on at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as well as Friday for Marcus Speaks Play, which comes on at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please don't forget, come and check me out because you don't want to miss any of this. All right, as I have iterated, please go on and subscribe to this here channel. You can either do it somewhere over here, somewhere at the bottom there that you can subscribe. Once you subscribe, hit that bell icon to also get all my notifications once I go live. Also, please do yourself a favor. Go to the description, scroll down past the actual description of this video, go to my links, hit the Rumble link. Once you get the Rumble, hit follow. So once you do that and I have enough subscribers over there, I can start simulcasting live from not only just YouTube, but also to Rumble as well. I want to do that for the simple fact that if these conversations that I have with you guys get a little spicy, where you guys come up and come and talk to me, then I want to, drop the stream here and then go on over and have you guys come and follow over to Rumble. All right. So please do yourself a favor, hit that link, follow, so I can start doing that. If you want to come up here and talk to me, you can. There's 2 ways you can do that, all right? There's either the link that's pinned in the live chat right now, the pinned comment. Hit that. It'll drop down. You'll see the number as well as the link and the number to this here stream is 302-283-9791. I repeat, 302-283-9791. Now, if you're calling from, I guess, out of country, I guess it's whatever the number is to dial out of the country, and then whatever it is to dial over here, then the number. I don't know, so you'll have to know that information. But for everyone else, go ahead and hit that number or hit the link when I tell you to. All right? But when you do hit those links, there are some rules that comes with that. Those rules are, you must be on camera at all times. That means coming back here to the green room where I see your face and your name that's on top of your screen. If you have to be on camera back here. But rule number two is don't want to be on camera, which is to the public. That's fine. Let me know here, back here in the private chat. There's a question that I have set up back here for you, so please leave your name and your answer so I can further accommodate you from that. Now, the first two rules, that's really for the link. This last rule that I have for you is for both the link and the number. And that is, please silence all background noise because I'm trying to run at least a semi-professional stream here. So if you could do that one favor, please silence all background noise. So that means put your kids to bed, put your animals outside, and find a nice secluded spot in your house so you can come up and talk to them. All right. The strolling ticker is for you. Please look at that. That's for you. Also, once again, if you could, please like this video, subscribe, hit the bell icon to all, and share this to your family, friends, and your respective social medias. All right. If you have ever watched this show, but if you're new here, I like to play videos for the simple fact that it helps me further my point of what I'm talking about for you guys to further understand what I'm talking about. Now, with that being said, I'd love for you guys to see these videos and whatever, but I have to follow not only a YouTube policy but also the law, and that is fair use. If you guys don't know the fair use policy, then well, I'll let you guys know exactly what fair use is right now. Hello, everyone. I'm going to tell you about fair use. It's the law. Warning. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyright motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107. All right, that's fair use. Now, when I am making my points, which is usually, on the fly, I usually read you guys an article that coexists with what I'm talking about, as well as a video that goes along with it that I found here on YouTube. So, with that being said, all articles and all videos are credited in the description box below. With those said articles, so I can not be pointed out as me being, me plagiarizing at all, for, this video being up. All articles have been altered from its original state. So, with that being said, everything that I'll be reading from you is from the source, but it has been altered for your viewing pleasure. Now, I don't have any small banter for you guys tonight, other than I want to hit some small topics that's been in the news. So one of them was something came out about Jamie Foxx not doing well. After I reported last week that he took to Instagram and he said to his fans, hey, thanks for all the blessings. So, a Daily Loud article came out this week stating that he's in bad condition. And with that being said, they said something about like it's a conspiracy going on that Diddy's involved because of all of this. And it's been some videos that's been resurfacing of Jamie Foxx talking about Diddy's crazy parties that he used to have, or if he still has them. So I don't know what's going on with his health in general, but I do know that last week I did state that he was okay. So that's what we're gonna go with because that's all that that's been reported, that's been true about his situation. So we're going on that. So with that being said, Also, last week I believe Usher threw Chris Brown his 33rd birthday party or whatever somewhere, and it came out that Chris Brown had like an argument or something like that with Tiana Taylor, and then some way or another, Usher jumped in it to where Chris Brown's homeboys or entourage jumped in it and they beat Usher up. We don't know, all right, because that's very same day or that next day, uh, they were on stage with each other at Lovers and Friends. So I don't know. I don't know. So we're gonna take that with a grain of salt. Neither Chris Brown or Usher has came out and said anything about the situation. So let's take that with a grain of salt. And that's really all I have for small topics today. So let's get into today's topic. I don't want to keep you guys anymore. So, if you guys have seen the thumbnail, you should already know what this is about. So, there has been a young lady that has been in the urban news, I should say. She's been in the urban news when it comes to stuff like, would you date a bus driver? Miss Eboni K. Williams Esquire uh, had an interview with Yolanda, or how do you say her name? Uh, Iyanla Van Zandt. That's how you say her name. Good. I did good that time. And it revolved around like masculinity and feminism and what a woman should be expecting from a man and what a man should expect from a woman. And it got to this extreme to where Eboni was asked a question by by Iyanla Van Zandt if she would date a bus driver. Well, people, this is this was her exact answer. I'm about to play it for you right now.
That Black women are earning college degrees faster than anybody else. Many of us are doing like we're doing, Ayanla. We're getting those terminal degrees, those JDs, MD, PhDs. We also are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs, along with Latina women in America. Pew Research said that women are now out earning men. Yes. In 22 of the largest cities in America, including where I live, New York, DC, LA, you name it. When we talk, and I know that you've said that you cannot teach a man or tell a man how to be a man. So I will not ask you to indict men in this question. But I do want you to speak, Ayanla, to how women need to, position ourselves so that we can be in our divinity, so we can have our crowns right, how we can create and not build, when some of us, quite frankly, feel that the men that are available to us, and I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age spectrum, trust me, I've done them all, they are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics we just talked about. They're not earning the incomes. They're not having the resources, and some of them are not even showing up in the leadership.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date
if he owns the bus? If he owns it. If he owns the bus.
See, that's a problem. That's a problem. Okay. Because the standards and requisites, and I'm not talking about him laying on his sofa playing video games all day. I'm not talking about that. But the standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for who we are as women and who they are in this society. I would date a bus driver if he loved driving the bus, if he was a man of integrity, if he was good to his mama, if he treated me well, I would date a bus driver. But
now that all sounds good, but I don't think Miss Van Zandt there will be dating a bus driver. I think that's all flack. Just like how Eboni K wouldn't do it as well. So but this is very telling though. We'll get back to Miss Van Zandt, digging into Ebony's ass. But ladies, let's be honest. Let's say you had, I don't know, let's say you were a doctor. Would you date a bus driver? Now, let's look up a bus driver's uh average income. So, what is a bus driver's average income? A bus driver's average income, a CDL bus driver, you can't see that. So let's blow that up. Yeah. Oh wow. I'm getting three. Hold on. Let's go back. I'm gonna enlarge this one, then I'm gonna go to the other one. So it says there, a CDL bus driver salary in Maryland is 37,999. Hold on, $37,998. Now let's see an average overall bus driver's income. Ooh, wrong one. I meant to do instead. Hold on. I meant to do the search instead. Okay, so it says here the average salary for a school. Well, that says school bus driver. Let's just do bus driver in general. Let's see. What is the highest paid bus driver jobs? That's much better. So I'm gonna enlarge this a little bit more. Okay, so a tour bus driver salary range is 26,500 to 65,000 a year. A party bus driver's salary range is 36,000 to $53,000 per year. A coach operator salary range is 35,500 to $51,000 per year. A motor coach operator salary range is 36,500 to $50,000 per year. And then you have bus operator, tour bus driver, and then charter driver. Let's see what, I don't know if Zip Recruiter would show that, but let's see. Let's see. Tour bus, party bus said that already. So you got, what's that, motor coach? So bus driver. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's enlarge it a little bit more. Tour bus driver. Hold on. Bus operator is 32,000 to 44,500 per year. And then you have a tour bus driver is 28,000 to 42,000. You have a charter bus driver, 34,000 to 41,500, and then that's it. Those are the top 7 bus driver gigs that you can get. All right. Now, we all know Miss Van Zant, and we already heard from Ebony that she's not dating a bus driver. And it's all well and cool the things that Yolanya, I'm saying her name wrong, pointed out, if he treats his mom well, if he loves driving the bus, etc. But let's tackle this head on. Can a career driven woman that is, let's say she's either what Ebony is, a lawyer, or let's say if Ebony was a doctor, or a scientist, whatever, that brings in buku's amount of money. That's at least 85,000 on up a year, within a yearly salary. I would say to the fellas out there, fellas, your best bet. This is just me talking, but take my advice. Take heed to it. Your best bet when picking a woman that you want to spend the rest of your life with, she should be at least on your level, if not a little below. All right, so you should be making at least a little more than what your wife makes. Let's say like $5,000 to $10,000 a year. I would say that you should be able to be. You should be making more than your spouse. And fellas, this is one thing that you probably didn't know, but if you did, then just listen. Let the other people who, fellas who don't know this, is a woman is looking for a man that basically is more superior than, at his whatever career he picked. Let's put it in the same realm as what Ebony is: a lawyer, a doctor, scientist, what have you, right? So a woman wants at least at her at her level, if not higher. But usually she wants you to be higher or whatever. Because, any woman would tell you your money's her money and her money's her money. So, basically what that being said is you got to look at your career, at what you do, and ask yourself, what woman will better suit me at the job that I do. So, case in point, I'm a manufacturing production worker, right? That's what I do. That's my job. So I'm either looking at a woman that does either the same thing, but, well, I would say my job personally that I do at the company that I work for isn't like other manufacturing operations. I would say from the the manufacturing job I worked prior, before working at the place I'm at now, I make way more than what I did at the other spot. Like, I could say every year I was getting somewhere around 40 to maybe 42,000 a year. Now it's way different. I'm making upwards of 48 to maybe $51,000 a year. That's a year. That's just base income. That's not overtime put in it. That's not um that's not overtime put in it. That's not, that's I only get a yearly raise, an annual raise every year. We don't get like cost of living raises, nothing like that. We get annual raises of however my job does it, which I can't speak about on here because it's trade secret. But I wouldn't be looking at a woman who's a doctor to try to be with, because she'll just laugh me out of the park. Now, I would say, fellas, don't sell yourself short of what kind of women you can pull. You know what I'm saying? If your game is right and it's tight and you can get yourself a doctor to have on your arm, for however long you can do it for, do that. If you can get a real estate agent, do that. But just know, if you do pursue these types of women, you got to know it's more uh is more baggage to deal with. Now, I'm not saying baggage as in like they have a lot of like fuck shit going on with them. I'm saying that baggage is that they have a lot more accomplished than what you do. So you have to deal with if you want to deal with that or not. So, um, you got to look at what you have accomplished next to what she's accomplished, basically, and you got to match them up. Like, am I better suited with this person than I thought I was? And you can probably, however however much money you make a year, but let's just look at this monthly. How much are you pulling in monthly after bills, and your the stuff that you need on a daily. So let's say after bills and grocery shopping, how much are you working with? If you working with, let's say you're working with like $500 to $600, that you're dealing with every 2 weeks. So that means you have at least $1,000 to $1,200 in the bank at any given moment. But then you double it to or triple it of how much you've saved up, and you have to think to yourself, well, am I better qualified, or do I qualify dealing with a woman who's a lawyer, or do I, you know, you have to look at your own self, and to be honest, if you're in your 20s, you shouldn't be thinking about marriage, until you're in your late 20s. I say when you're probably around like 27, 28, you should be thinking about, if you've been in a long-term relationship, that's when you should be thinking about getting married to that person that you've been with for however long you've been with this person. But if you just, out there playing the field for however long you playing the field for, but just know it gets lonely out there, so you're gonna have to make your decision if you want to keep pursuing that type of lifestyle, or if you want to get married one day. And those are the decisions you have to make for yourself while you're playing the field. How long are you going to be playing the field? How long is it going to take for you to find that person? You have to think about certain things like that. So, with that being said, so they further discuss some things. I'm gonna get into that, but before I do, I want to say this. You have to be wary of women like Eboni, because you know she'll have her explanation of why she said these things later on that I'm gonna play. But just know, women who are seeking, I'll say this term. I don't normally say this term, but women like Eboni are looking for the high valued man, whatever that means. And whatever high value they see as far as career, money, what they've achieved and stuff like that, that's what women like Eboni are looking for in a man. Good career, great at it, and they're making buku's amount of money. What I'm saying, upwards into the 100,000s, maybe. That's probably what someone like herself is looking for. So I would say this: Ebony's not wrong in her assessment of what she wants, but you know, women look at people like Ebony and people who are in the mainstream space, who are actors, or women of entertainment and stuff like that. They look at these women, they look at the men that they're dating, and then they get their roadmap of who they want to be with. So what she said is a little dangerous, for the simple fact is that, what if there's a bus driver that think that, in New York, that thinks Ebony's cute and would like to take her out on a date, but she won't deal with the bus driver, for the simple fact is that the bus driver doesn't own the bus company. So he's already out of a date because Ebony doesn't want to date him. So just something to look at. So let's get back into this video. And I think we got think we got a minute left on this, so let's keep going.
You think that it's another human being's responsibility to give us what we need instead of us building together. I can build with a bus driver. I'd have my little stash over on the side in my prenup, but I could build with a bus driver. So I think some of the criteria that we look for in the reality of today keeps us unhappy, keeps us angry, keeps us imbalance. And then when the men show up, we want to beat them up because they're not living up to our standards and criteria. And it's not working, beloved. It's just not working. So it's not that it's bad or wrong, it's obsolete. It's obsolete. We have to come up with a new way of being. I don't believe in carrying a man. A man has to do for himself. My son got his first job when he was 9. 9, okay? Because you're a black man, you will know how to take care of yourself. But I think the way we measure it, it's just obsolete.
All right, so let's, before I get into this article, let's hit that what Miss Van Zant said about standards. Now, everyone should have some sort of standard when it comes to someone who they're dating, right? I'm not going to say mine because it's irrelevant to this conversation, but you should have some sort of standard of what you want in a relationship. Not a woman, but in a relationship. If you want to place values on a woman, then cool, do your thing. But you have to think within yourself, what kind of relationship do you want? What kind of, with the woman that you're dating, what qualities do you want out of that person? And that goes for women as well. What qualities do you want in a man? What values do you want him? If you get there, if you get to marriage and have kids, what values do you want him to instill into your children and stuff like that? What are you looking for, basically, is what I'm asking. What are you looking for in a relationship? If you don't know, then you're basically in that area of what Kevin Samuels used to say, and I can't believe I'm about to quote Kevin Samuels. You about to be in the danger zone, because for the simple fact that you don't know what you want in a relationship, but you just out here just aimlessly dating people. Not only are you wasting somebody's time that could be feeling you and want to, see where everything goes, but you're doing yourself a disservice because you just out here aimlessly dating, just trying to see who interests you. You should have a game plan when dating. All right. So, with that being said, let's get into the overview of tonight's show. I can't believe I'm doing this so damn late. So, Eboni K. Williams hates bus drivers. All right. So, I got this article from News One, and I chopped the title up. But if you go to the description box below, you'll see the full title. But Eboni K. Williams' comments sparked debate about relationships. Excuse me. Eboni K. Williams sparked a major controversy after commenting that she would only date a bus driver if he owns the bus. The lawyer and television host spoke to Iyanla Van Zandt, her name is so hard to say, about masculine versus feminine energy in an interview on The Griot. Williams claimed that many women feel that the dating pool is unbalanced because of reasons like income and status. Let's stop there. Now, most women want a rich man. That's a given because they want to be taken care of. They want to be kept. All right. I remember dating this this chick I was with, and she told me flat out, like after the whole what after our was it the what's that stage called everybody talks about in a relationship? The honeymoon stage. After the honeymoon stage was done, she said to me when I was talking about her about something when it comes to like our relationship, whatever. She said she is looking for stability and what she say? She said stability and um I think she said she wanted to be kept or something like that. It was something along the lines of that. She said that she wanted. I remember the stability part, and she said something else or whatever. And I was taken aback by that because I was like, "Oh, okay, I understand what you're here for. You're here to be not in love. You want to be able to count on the person that you're with if something comes up." Okay, that sounds good, but where's the love at? Because that's one thing that you never heard both both Miss Van Zant and Ebony K. Williams not talk about. They didn't talk about love whatsoever. Not one time. You didn't hear love come out of their face at all. Now, income and status. So with certain incomes of what you do as a career or as a job, then comes your status. Or you just, be a socialite and know damn near everybody in the city or town you live in, and that could be your status. That could be, you could know the mayor. You could be all of 34 years old like myself and know the mayor and talk to the mayor almost every day of the town or city that you live in. Or you can just be, somebody that keeps to himself that really doesn't make a lot of noise, so a lot of people don't know what it is that your status is, and you could have one of the highest statuses in the place that you live at, even your state. You know, everyone might know you by name, but they probably don't know you by, your face. Um, but that's also what women want as well. They want a man who's a status symbol, somebody who can come in a room and all eyes are on him. He want not saying that he's the center of attention, but he's well known to the fact that it is breathtaking, of which in some cases, in some relationships, that's what the woman's leeching off of in the first place is his status. Not just his income, because she wants to be known as well. She doesn't just want to be the trad wife, or she doesn't want to be, just the eye candy or the sexy woman on his arm. She wants her own as well. She wants to be, out in the social circles as well. So, with them talking about the dating pool being unbalanced, is not that the fact that it's unbalanced, is that the paradigm has shifted. That's all. The pendulum is swinging to one side to where certain men in certain, you know, income tax brackets and uh in certain circles that let's say he's not a doctor, he's somebody like me who works manufacturing. I'm talking to engineers and you know doctors come in and see the product that I make and stuff like that. So there is some rapport with these people who could have status, but at the same time you gotta look at, these doctors wouldn't be shit without me because I make the very product that they do surgeries with. So it's like without me being at work on a day-to-day basis making this product, of course they can buy from somewhere else, but you can't get a better product from where I work at. Like, our product is the best on the market. Now, um you could brag about that. You could brag, you could brag about, yeah, I do this, this, and that. Like, I remember going on dates in my 20s and then, the grueling question comes up. Well, what do you do for a living? And then I tell them, hey, I work in medical manufacturing. I make a medical device for such or such and such or said surgery. Oh, wow, that's so great. Tell me more. Well, it's this product that I make. It does this for the body. It helps do this and that. And you can, have a better bill of health. And they're like, oh my gosh, is it hard? And it's like, nah, it's like one of the easiest things I've ever done in my life, next to working at McDonald's in a grocery store. Now, we will get to one of her comments later of what she said about a certain being average. We'll get to that later. But one last thing on this income and status and the dating pool being unbalanced. It's not that the dating pool is unbalanced. Is for the simple fact that women are looking at men differently. This is a different time. So, you know, I'm not saying that I would have a hard time finding somebody because of what I do for a living. It's just that what woman or where are the women that's looking for a hardworking man that goes to work every day? Like, so some women aren't understanding to the fact that, hey, if you got that if you're trying to go after that millionaire or that billionaire, just know that that millionaire or that billionaire isn't going to be around all the time, because if he's money driven, if he wants to get to the money, to the bag, as everyone says, he's not going to be around all the time. He's not going to be taking vacations to take, just to have fun. He's taking vacations because he's probably cutting a deal somewhere. So, although the vacation or you going to London or Germany, whatever, could be fun to you, but it's work for him because he's trying to close a deal. He's trying to make partnerships. He's trying to network out so, he can help his business flourish, just like the business that he's going to, he wants them to flourish as well. So I won't say that it's unbalanced. It's just that women are looking elsewhere indifferently. To all the women who are looking for just that hard working man, hey, kudos to you. Applause to you. I think everyone is understanding to the fact that, hey, everyone can't be rich. You can be well off, or you can, have a nice little nugget that, you ain't got to worry about nothing, but everybody can't be rich. You know what I'm saying? Rich to me is having like 20,000 in the bank. That's rich to me. To where, let's say you just making that on the side. You know what I'm saying? You're making 20,000 on the side, but you still got your day job, and you making whatever you're making yearly from that. If you got 20,000 in the bank, to me, nigga, you balling, because you basically, you can do and go wherever the hell you want. Like, eh, I could talk to you. You could probably like, yeah, I'm going to Vegas this weekend just to hang out or whatever. Like, I don't have that type of time. Like, I wish I did, but hey, going to Vegas just to go to Vegas, fuck, I'll go. Not with him, but I'm saying I would do that if I had the means that he has. But you just gotta look at it like that. So, but fellas, don't be hard on yourself. Like, well, I won't be able to find a woman that I want. It's cool. It's cool because. Well, hold on. This is one thing I don't like. I hate when men say, "I like who likes me." Dog, you're doing yourself a disservice. All right, if you're not out there spitting game, seeing where your game is and stuff like that, see who and what you can pull, then you're not trying. Like all in my 20s, I was trying. I was trying to see what what part of my game worked and what part of it didn't, because all the shit that didn't, I threw away. So, um, so with that being said, it's like, I've dated a woman who privately owned real estate. Had 20,000, 20,000, 30,000 in the bank, and you know what I'm saying, she was a fucking nightmare. Like, like just know, to men too, who you might be not broke, but you're not rich, but you're going for women who are well off than what you are. Just know most of them women are fucking headaches, and half the time they don't even want to be in relationships with men because they are who they are. So you just pick your poison is basically all I'm saying to both men and women. Pick your poison, all right? Because it's all gonna kill you in the long run any damn way. So just pick your poison. Now, let's continue with this article. Okay, so she asked Van Zant for advice for women who want to position themselves to be more feminine in romantic relationships. Her response to Van Zant's question would Her response to Van Zant's question, would you date a bus driver, led to a social media frenzy. See the full clip below. Uh, that's a problem. That's a problem. The standards and the criteria that we use to measure men are off for who we are as women and who they are in society. As I told you, status. I would date a bus driver, Van Zandt 69 said, because she probably ain't got nobody else to date. Williams stated, Williams' statement has been criticized as being anti-black. I wonder how. We'll dive in that when we get there. She recently released her book, Bet on Black, The Good News About Being Black in America, and was the Real Housewives of New York's first black cast member. Since the clip surfaced last week, Williams has taken to several platforms to defend and further explain her thoughts. No matter your position or how this convo makes you feel, we have got to reckon uh with the strata of these issues within the black community now, or deal with the consequences later, she wrote on Instagram, posting about her heated debate with and DJ Envy on the Breakfast Club. Okay. So, before we get into that debate, let's 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 dissect what was said in her either it was her tweet or her Instagram post. She says, so no matter your position or how this convo makes you feel, we have got to reckon with the strata of these issues within the black community now, or deal with the consequences. I'm pretty sure talking about she's probably talking about the she's probably talking about like her why she would only date a bus driver who owns either the bus or the bus company, right? Um Now, people who have been through college and they've done their time and they're now paying their student loans and they're at their big fancy jobs now, right? There's one thing that I believe that all college students lose grip with, and that is where the fuck they came from. Now, we've all heard the stories. I grew up in the ghetto. I went to college to be this, and I've been doing this for so long, and blah 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 blah. I'm glad that I'm out the hood. What these people don't understand is that the hood isn't all that bad. Although bad shit happens in the hood, but the hood isn't all that bad. You gotta remember, it's not us as black people, because we're not a monolith, who are trying to seek out average living lifestyles. We'll love to be able to go to school and become the lawyer or the doctor or the scientist or the congressman or, whatever. We'll love to do these jobs. The thing is, the education system is fucked up, and then by being from the hood, you also have a fucked up mentality when it comes to certain things, such as going to college. What you doing going to that big old fancy white school for? What you trying to be white? Like, that's some of the stupid things that we'll say to each other when coming to grips with certain aspects of how someone came up. Now, I grew up in one of the roughest places, because it was maybe three or four of them in my town. I grew up in one of them. So somebody from, let's say, either California or New York City or whatever, who live in the hood, they'll probably look at my neighborhood as the suburbs. But, looking at someone who came from either a Los Angeles or a San Francisco or Oakland or New York City or Buffalo, whatever, and then seeing their hoods, I would probably say, well, y'all shit look like a suburb. Like, what are you talking about? But I won't say that it is directly our fault that, the word was mediocrity is what she used. I won't say that we strive to be, less than. Is that some of us don't have the drive to want to either further our education. Like myself, I didn't want to. All right, I disliked school. I hated being there. I learned though, but I hated being there. And it's like I just want to not have to get up every day to come here. All right, I I'd rather, be on a job. I never dropped out or graduated, so I'd rather be making money somewhere than here. That's that was my mentality. It's only because of how I grew up towards the end of my teenage years and what I was going through. As far as me being in, a household of a single mother, I just wanted to get the hell out. Now, oldest sister never went to college, but she's smart than a motherfucker. Middle, my middle sister started college, but she got pregnant. So it's like, what I'm saying? It's not that, I had an aspiration to go to college, but I didn't want to go to a regular either Ivy League or or private college or HBCU. I wanted to do something more along the lines of like a fine arts college or whatever, right? I want to do something around like television and stuff like that, and music and stuff. What I wanted to do, but I still looked at it as college. I was like, it's still college. I still have to be in class. I still have to wake up early in the morning to get to class. I hate waking up early. I'm not really a morning person. So what am I gonna do? Is night school an option? Like, will I stay in school if I just go to night school? I had to weigh all my options before graduation, and I determined, well, I'll just get a job. After hearing my social studies teacher tell me that you can't live off of $13 an hour, it's the worst idea ever. It's like, well, I don't want to have a job where I'm only making $13 an hour, and that's what I'll be making for the rest of my life. Nah, I want to strive and be in certain positions at a job or whatever. That was my aspirations of me going. If I'm not going to school, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? Do I just want to be a grunt for the rest of my life, or do I want to be in a leadership position or a higher leadership position? Like, what is it that I want to do, right? Because I want to further my status. I want to further who I am. And I I chose what I chose, and it's not a problem. I enjoy what the hell I do, but I'm not about to have somebody who's unhappy with themselves, who needs someone who is better than them to project onto me as if I'm doing something wrong with my life. Nah, that's not. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to deal with that, and it's not. And I'm not gonna have somebody try to instill that into me as if what I'm doing is wrong. Nah, shorty, we don't even have to talk. To be honest, like, this conversation within itself is disrespectful. For you to come to me and say, well, I won't date a bus driver because you don't own the bus. It's like, well, shorty, kick rocks. Matter of fact, I'll leave. Matter of fact, uh, waiter, please split our checks. She had whatever she had, and I had the steak, potatoes, and broccoli with a red wine. That's what I had. Please split that up because I don't feel like dealing with her fuck shit anymore. And I'll walk the fuck off away from the table because I know my value. I know my worth. I know who I am. And it's better off if men knew that as well. Who are you? What is your worth? Will you deal with something like that? Will you deal with a woman talking down upon your career or your job as if you made a bad decision? Ladies as well. Would you deal with a man that talk down about what you do for a living? Let's say you're a professional babysitter and you make $10 an hour, or let's bump it up. You make $15 an hour off of babysitting. And how many clients do you have within a day, and how much are you pulling or coming home with every week? Don't allow somebody who looks down upon people with whatever it is that you do as less than. Get the fuck away from people like that, because you're only going to be more unhappy with yourself, because not only did you choose the person that you're with, but you're also dealing with their fuck shit of them talking down upon you. So you're going to be feeling way you're gonna be feeling way worse than what you already feel by being with a person like that. Because if a person will talk down on you, they'll hit you. If they'll hit you, they'll damn well, for damn sure, will kill you as well. So you have to start weighing your options. All right, because somebody can verbally abuse you, they'll definitely physically abuse you as well. So, and also let's put in mental abuse as well, because people's words hold stakes in people's minds as well. So someone says something crazy to you, and you're an overthinker like myself, you'll take that to heart. Of which I've dealt with that, the overthinking stuff. I've been able to deal with that, and it doesn't really bother me all that much. If someone doesn't want to be around me, it's probably because of my age as well. Somebody doesn't want to be around me, okay, kick rocks. Peace out. I'm good where I'm at. But anyway, where the hell did I leave off at in this article? So let's see. Okay, so I'm about to play this video from whoever it's from, but it's in the description box. It's all in order. So we're about to get into the debate that Eboni K. Williams and DJ Envy got into. It's about like 7 minutes long. It's like, hold on, it's almost 10 minutes long. So I'm gonna start it. And I will be stopping it throughout the iteration of it. So let's go.
feel bad, and I'm gonna tell you why I feel bad, because I did two things this week that I normally don't do. Number one, if somebody I know is got something going on social media, we should have spoke to them.
I appreciate that.
And not about them. You know what I mean? And Ebony is our people. So I feel like we should have probably spoke to her, reached out to her like we always do for everything else. And I didn't watch the full interview with Ayanla. I watched the clip online.
Nothing about this is negative. People are disagreeing. People are feeling away. We're going to talk about it. But I want to start by the framing that we cannot have rupture in the culture and not do the work of repair. So to me, this is a conversation about repairing and restoring what has historically been a productive, valuable conversation and relationship between Black men and women that somehow, some way has gotten away from us. So I honestly answered y'all in that moment. If he owned the bus, and that's what I said, Envy, but what people heard based on the comments, that I said bus drivers wasn't shit. People heard that I said that bus drivers broke, don't make no money, ain't got no benefits, and that they were beneath me. That somehow was the interpretation of me saying that I will date a bus owner.
This is what bothers me, to make it seem like bus drivers only drive buses.
Why do we keep talking about bus drivers?
Because let's generalize.
Let's generalize.
Let's
We can
generalize.
talk bus drivers, we could talk police officers, we could talk MTA workers, we could talk all these different people that work at these quote unquote average jobs.
Everyday working class people.
Now, this is my problem, right? So when you said I wouldn't date a bus driver unless he owned his own bus, a lot of people felt it like, yo, that's disrespectful, because just because I took a job, and a lot of people take those jobs for a couple of different reasons. One, the benefits, right? Sure. They know they can work for 20 years. After 20 years, they can retire and they still get their retirement and they still get their benefits. So after 20 years, they can. Most police officers, the same thing. They get their retirement, they can still carry their firearm, and they can still get their benefits. So I look at it as that's a great hustle. They work for 20 years. At the end of 20 years, let's say they start at 21. At 41, they done working the bus company, done being a police officer, done being MTA, and now they just making money on top of money. So it's value over values, right?
Envy, let me stop you.
Hold on, I'll let her answer before I talk about it. So.
What you are applying now is not the facts as they were given to me. Ayanla did not ask me, Ebony, would you date a bus driver that also had a real estate portfolio? Ayanla did not ask me. Hold on now. Ebony, would you date a bus driver that also has a litany of franchises? Because you and your wife just bought 5, right? Six crystals?
Yeah.
Crystal burgers. Okay. She didn't ask. That was not the framing of the question, Envy. Yep. Had that been the framing of the question, I would have said, Dr. Vons, where the fuck he at?
All right. So it's been extras added on to this, right? So let's dissect this. Envy's position is, we need people like that and people who are at these said, jobs, they deserve love as well, right? Her position was, it's not that I dislike people who are, police officers, bus drivers, EMS workers, stuff like that, or even bank tellers, right? That's not her gripe. Her gripe is that if Miss Van Zant would have asked me that the bus driver has a good, real estate portfolio, he's invested in several other local businesses, he's making money, you know what I'm saying? He's able to afford a 6-bedroom house, you know what I'm saying? He's able to, take care of his business as well as, make sure I'm good. Now, you see where the extras got put onto that, right? So she's not looking for the bus driver. She's looking for the bus driver who has a real estate portfolio, somebody that has businesses, somebody who, is diversified in his whatever, you know what I'm saying? He invented something, but he's still working as a bus driver. I don't think that should be important if you're looking for love. Now, it's important if you're thinking, well, I would like to spend the rest of my life with this person. Totally different conversation. But I would say this. It's a disservice that she's doing to people who are at these jobs who's looking to find love, either if it's a woman or if it's a man. But since we're talking about men here, that's what she was talking about. Let's just talk about men. So she's not looking for a man who's a bus driver who doesn't own his bus. She's looking for a bus driver that owns not only the bus, but the company itself. He has a lavish real estate portfolio where he has, I don't know, 6 private properties underneath of him and 2 commercial properties that have strip malls on them. But he still chooses to drive the bus when he can sit at home all day. That's what her argument is that that's the man I'm looking for, not just the bus driver. Now, a lot of people may not have anything, or may not see anything wrong with that. To be honest, I don't see anything wrong with what she's saying. But here is where she's slipping, and this is the reason why motherfuckers is handing her hat. You're saying it in such a disingenuous way. To the simple fact is that you're so strong within what you're saying. Not saying that she shouldn't, but she's so strong in what she's saying. She has her stake in the ground of what she feels about this whole, would you date this person? She's basically doing this. She's projecting. She's projecting what she's been through in her life, and she'll say this once we get to that video, but I'm gonna jump ahead. In the video, she talks about how her mom was a bus driver. Now, this is one thing that we have to look at. Does she dislike bus drivers because her mother is one? Is she projecting that she doesn't like women, but then putting it on men is because that's what she had to deal with in her lifetime? Now, Eboni K. Williams, I believe, is only 38 years old. So she's only 3 years older than me. So she's about around both of my middle sister's ages. So, okay, all well and cool that she's looking for a man who is either living within his means or above his means, and he is making some sort of living in a way that he's able to not only just provide for herself, but for a family as well. Now, if that's the case, I don't see a problem with it. Like, everything's cool on my end. Like, hey, do your thing, Ebony. But I will say this. If you're not looking for this type of person, why speak on, hey, I'll never date this type of person? Okay, cool. No one asked you that. What we did ask was this. Hey, would you date a bus driver if he treated you nice, if he's good to his mother, if his community respects him, so on and so forth? Would you date this person? It's a yes or no answer. So she didn't have to give a long, drawn out explanation of who or what the person owns. The question was basically there. It was a simple yes or no question. So Yolanda, or however the hell you say her name, said basically told her that this is the reason women in your day and age haven't found love yet, is because you want for too much. You want too much, and you're not even there yourself. Did y'all just hear what the hell I just said? You want all of this nice stuff, but you're not there yet. So you want someone else to afford it for you so you can reap the benefit of it. You don't see a problem with that? Now, if you think, well, a man should do for his woman as if whatever, I don't disagree. But are you able? Look, this is the way I see certain things when it comes to certain shit. And I believe I've shared this story before. a girlfriend of mine, same person I was talking about earlier, she called me up one morning asking, "Hey, why aren't you up?" I was like, "Well, I don't go into work until 2:30. I don't understand why I wouldn't be asleep right now because I would like to be productive at work." Her gripe was, "Well, what if I need you? What are you gonna need from me in the morning? Like what are you going to need from me that you won't be able to do for yourself?" "Well, it's all these snakes in my backyard. I need you to cut my grass." Hold on. I don't even cut my own grass. I have somebody that I pay to do that because I'm working all the fucking time. So why would I cut your grass? So that was an argument. Well, on her side, it was an argument. I said what I said, but she didn't look at it from my point of view. Why would I cut your grass when you? By all intents and purposes, Shorty had a son, so it's like, well, why isn't your son doing this shit after school? Like, why are you asking, a nigga that you just met? Well, we didn't just met. We was together for a while, so I won't say that lie. But it's like, you have to be able to do something for yourself first before you ask somebody else to do it for you. Okay, you don't like snakes. Cool. I don't like snakes. So what would make you think that I want to be in your backyard when you got all these snakes? And it's a saying that goes with that, but I'm not gonna say it. But I swallowed my pride. I got my ass up. I went over there. I cut the grass. Well, had to pick the snakes up first from the ones that she killed. I had to pick them up first, put them in a bag before I could continue her work. By the time I was done cutting the grass, I'm like, okay, so, do I get a sandwich or something? Do I get anything out of this? Like, or this, I should be just doing this because you're my girlfriend and I'm your boyfriend. I should be just doing this. She looked at me like, yeah, like, what, you want a reward or something? Yeah, I'm doing something that isn't my job. I don't live here. This isn't my job. I come here to come chill. Excuse me. I don't come here to work. I have my own house that I can be doing this shit at, but I don't because I pay someone to do it for me. But, Ebony's, now I can understand. Ebony's been at law school for however many years. She's able to afford being in New York City, which is a hard city to, pay rent in, or probably mortgage as well. But she has the means to do so. So for her to look down at a bus driver as if he's going home to the projects, for all we know, the bus driver that Miss Van Zant was talking about, he probably had a brownstone in Brooklyn somewhere, probably in Crown Heights, next to Dr. Huxtable and them. But, with her automatically just saying, no, I'll never date this type of person, it's like, well, hold on. You don't know what this man, you don't know where this man lives. You don't know what he does for, what I mean? Like, he could have one of the flyest brownstones in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Like, you automatically just judging him because he's a bus driver. All right, makes sense. Let's keep going.
So,
real quick,
to date a man, you have to
listen,
come with a resume to say
hold
all
on.
the properties that I own, or do you get to know that man and see what he's about?
But see, that's
But time out,
semantics
time out.
now.
It's
But
not-
now
y'all,
it's
it's not
semantics.
I feel like you're changing the goalposts, right? What people were upset about was what you said, and everything that you said could absolutely positively be true.
Envy just said what I said, but it's semantics. How's it semantics? Like, although what she's saying could be true. Okay, cool. She doesn't want to date a bus driver. Fine. But this man could be well off. He could have been, was she 38 or so? Hold on. Let's see how old Eboni K. Williams is. Let's see. He's 39 years old. Okay, so for, for all we know, she could be, he could be, for all we know, he could be living, I forgot my whole thought process. Hold on. So Ebony's 39, right? So she's been out of school for quite some time. At a law school, quite some time. Which means that she's been doing her career for a long time now. With her having a career in law and probably being around some of the most prominent New York City lawyers and judges and magistrates and all that, cool. You see the life that you want through the people that you encounter every day. Fine. I'm not saying that that's wrong. But this is what I'm saying that is wrong on her end. You're looking down at people who may not had any other choice but to be a bus driver. Let's look at that. Now, if that was the only reason, if that's the only reason, let's say, because she gets into mediocrity as well, maybe he had to take that mediocre job because it had the best benefits at the time when he started the job. It was probably the best career choice he could make because, it had the best benefits at the time when he signed up to be a bus driver. Who knows? We don't know the ins and outs of all of this, but I will say this. If that was the only reason that he got the job is because it was an easy job to take at the time, and all he's doing all day is driving people around from point A to point B, has to be probably one of the easiest goddamn jobs around because not only is he able to get around the city because he's seeing the city in its entirety, he's just not in certain pockets of New York City. He's able to travel around the city and know, at this time I take this route to get here. If I'm, at this stop, instead of taking whatever west or whatever, now I'm gonna take this route. Like he's a benefit to people who need to get places. So if we're looking at status again, well, his status is that maybe he's probably the best bus driver in New York City. He's gotten ribbons for this shit. He's gotten trophies for it. Who knows? But that's what his career choice was. Let's respect it. Because you want somebody to respect your job of choice of being a lawyer, right? Now we're getting to respect now. We're looking at her not respecting someone's job because they chose to do what's best for them. But it's not good enough for her because it's mediocre. I get it. Let's continue.
People were upset that they felt like that you were putting down the average person, quote unquote, average job, and the person that was working the average job, that their what they do is not as good as what you do.
That's a projection, Envy. Envy, that's a projection because
let me finish. I'll let you speak. Let me talk.
Go ahead, Envy.
Yeah. So when you start talking about all this, and I read the comments just like you did because I wanted to prepare myself when you came up here to understand what people were mad about and understand what people were upset about. So when you're talking about all this brother this and the black man this and the white supremacy this and this, that, and the other, that's all to the side of how you felt about that quote unquote average job, right?
Mhm.
And I'll be honest with you, right? And one of the comments that I said, and maybe I'm not sure, right? The guy was like, you talk about all this about lifting a brother up and lifting this up and white supremacy and what you do for our people. And then the first thing the brother said was, but your fiance was white. And I'm sitting there like, how do you talk about how much you uplifting and how much you're going for black people, but that's not necessarily what you're even looking for.
Well, first of all,
Paging Dr. Umar, damn.
Well,
No,
let's
address
address it.
And if I'm wrong,
not,
I'm wrong.
let's
I'm just
not skip.
asking.
Let's not skip a beat.
Mhm.
So, I would love to know how you, Envy, know what I'm looking for,
I
because we
don't
never
know.
had the conversation.
I
So,
don't know.
but
I'm
you
asking,
just
I'm telling you
framed
what
it.
people are saying on comments, what I've
Right.
read, and I'm talking for them. I'm not a bus driver. I'm
Oh, I
speaking
know
for
you're
the,
not.
for the average person out there, because I feel for them, because the bus drivers and the average person are what keeps these lights on here on the Breakfast Club.
That's right.
They keep me booking
Envy,
shows.
nobody
They
is
keep
saying.
me at
Okay,
the
first of all, this is
HBCUs.
not about you
But
booking
I'm asking.
shows.
I'm
This
just telling
is
you how
about-
I feel. So when you shit on the people that
No, first
ride
of all,
with me, I
Envy,
ride
you're
with them.
dead ass wrong for framing it as me shitting on them.
You don't
First
think it was
of-
shitting on them?
I know it. First of all, I know it wasn't. I think what you're saying
Have
right
you read
now
the
is
comments of how people
irresponsible.
feel?
I think what you're saying
Do you
is
understand how
irresponsible.
people feel? Do you listen to
Envy,
the calls, how people feel?
I think what you are framing right now
No.
in this moment is highly irresponsible. Because
How?
I'm going to, if you listen, I'm
I'm
going to tell
listening.
you. Because if you were to listen to all of the full Yana interview, the full sidebar, the full episode of Holding Court, nowhere in any of that commentary did I say a cross or negative word about the working class of Black America, of America broadly, or Black men. I'm going to get to the why was my fiance. Envy, let me finish this statement.
Do you know what
I'm
people
going
feel?
to get to.
Just because
But
you
I
didn't
don't
mean to
deal
hurt
in
somebody,
feelings.
just
First
because
of
you
all,
didn't
I
mean to
don't
affect
deal-
somebody doesn't mean you didn't hurt.
Hold on, before they continue, look, I don't understand where this whole like her dating a white man has anything to do with it. I'm sure it bothers people, but I'm sure to anybody listening to this or watching, it has nothing to do with the. It has nothing to do with nothing. It has nothing to do with the entire picture. Like it has nothing to do with it. And I'm saying that because of this. Either if she dated a white man, Mexican, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Black, whatever, and they were, whatever, they did for a living, it makes no difference. It's because of her choice of words that she used. She when Miss Van Zandt asked, "Would you date a bus driver?" Her her answer was only if he owns the bus. But you can't fault her for that. This is why. It's because, and I said it earlier, she's looking for somebody that's either on her level or better. So I'm pretty sure a bus driver wouldn't be better in a career as her. Now, I judged my ex wrong, who owned private real estate. She was an EMS worker, but she got the real estate by way of her adoptive parents. Her I guess her adoptive father heard about some land that was being produced for private condos by individual owners or whatever. So like this apartment complex, which is funny, is because not not only did I know someone who owned some property there, I was also dating somebody who lived on the property there. So ironic, right? So me not knowing at first that she had this, because it was a wedding gift, and it was for both herself and her husband to be at the time, but they divorced, and he was signed over all of his rights to the land or whatever. So she's now dealing with having to deal with hiring plumbers and electricians and stuff like that. It's all within her name. I didn't know any of that when I was dating her. I just knew that She was an EMS worker. Somehow she could afford this big ass mini mansion in Delaware, and I was coming over to be her company for however long I was being her company for. Didn't know a damn thing about that until she said something. One day when we were just hanging out, driving around, trying to find something to do that Saturday. She just came out with it. Yeah, I own a couple properties back there because we was at this we was on this road that we was close enough to be there, to be close to there. When we was at the light, she says, it's these condos that's back there that I own. They're privately owned by by people, and I'm one of the owners of 2 plots of land there. I said, oh, I didn't know that. And I asked her, well, roughly how much are you making a month from that? And she gave me since we was at the stoplight, she took a pen and paper, wrote down the amount, and she handed it to me. I said, oh shit, okay, well, cool. You know what I'm saying? Because I was always wondering, how's it that she's going shopping every weekend? Like, I'm pretty sure an EMS job isn't paying her that damn much for her to be able to buy a $200 pair of shoes almost every weekend, or going to Bloomingdale's or whatever, getting some, or Nordstrom's or whatever, getting something to wear for either the night or some upcoming event that she might be going to. Like, I wasn't asking any of those questions. Where are you getting your money from? Because honestly, I didn't give a fuck. To be honest, like, you got money some way, somehow, and I got money, so it doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I may not have as much money as you do, but I have money, so you know what I mean? So from there, it was like, oh, well, I know what she does for a living now, so I don't have to wonder if she's doing something funny to get this money. So, that's all. But I don't understand how, in a whole, why dating someone from a different race has anything to do with your way of thinking. Now, some people are like that. When they date black people, they're this way. When they date white people, they're another way. When they date somebody else from another race, they're another way. Like, there are people like that. Not saying Eboni K is like that because I don't know her. But I'm saying if that is who she is, if that's how she acts, ain't a damn thing that I can say about that, because I wouldn't date her. She's a beautiful woman. Like, I'm not gonna downplay her. She's a beautiful woman. I don't know where the hell she got that voice from, because she sounds like somebody's 50-year-old fucking Bob. But other than that, it's like, she's a beautiful woman. Anybody would try to get Eboni K or someone like Eboni K. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand where this whole, you gotta be this way in order to, like, I don't understand none of that. So, let's continue.
Community. I can say anything about somebody and be like, I didn't mean to hurt you. But if you hurt people, you hurt people. If people feel a way about you, they feel a way about you, because those people that you talked about are the people that buy your books, that to the show, and they're hurt.
Eboni, what about words like average, mediocrity, typical, and the bigotry of low expectations? I think those are the words that hurt the working class.
You can sit here and say, no, I didn't hurt nobody. You hurt people out there that buy your books and follow you and support you.
You asked me to be quiet. Y'all, please. Y'all asked me to be quiet. I listened to your full statement. I understand you have a feeling about it.
I let you talk for 22 minutes, and I just spoke for 60 seconds.
She is here to talk to him.
I know, but I'm just saying, I just spoke for 60 seconds.
We got ours off already. Let Eboni talk.
I'm just returning what she said.
But
don't act like I didn't let her speak. She spoke for 22 minutes.
Go ahead, Eboni. Let her talk. Don't do that. Let her go. Go ahead.
So, Envy, this is where we're different. My primary focus and goal when I do what I do in the world is not to protect feelings. I'm going to be candid with you. I understand it's clear from the energy that there is an emotional attack that you felt was on Black men, the working class, and Black America. I'm going to hold the space for the hurt feelings around that. But more than I care about hurt feelings, I care about providing my people with facts and information that say that the current way of life for The majority of Black Americans is not serving us. I'm going.
Let me stop her there. Ebony, Black men didn't go through some sort of like renaissance of, you know what I'm saying, of being free. That was Black women. Now, any Black woman here watching, or you might see this replay, look, wasn't us that went through the whole, you know what I'm saying, I am woman, hear me roar. Like, we didn't go through that. It was a research. I won't even say it was a resurgence. It was an emergence of Black women being free with themselves. So, you know, basically, in, I would say, someone else's words, they were basically being as promiscuous as men are doing, or were doing, or are doing. They're just as. So it's like, we didn't go through that. Like, that already happened like several decades prior. So it's just men her age or older, and, you know, which she's in my group, she's a millennial or so. So it's like, you know, I didn't go through any sort of, you know, I'm not getting, fuck these bitches, I'm not getting married, blah 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 blah. I didn't go through that. I'm not gonna have a woman tell me what to do. I didn't go through that. But I started seeing how Black women started becoming more free with themselves. They started being the whole, you know, I don't know, they started, you know, being the I am woman, hear me roar. I can do whatever I want, when I want, where I want with my body. I can. No man's gonna tell me how to sling it and where to sling it. Like, it wasn't us. Like, it wasn't us. Like, it's more men my age and older who's trying to find a wife than not get married at all. Now, I don't know what kind of Black men she dated, but it sounds as if that her dating experience with Black men wasn't the best. So with that being said, it's like, what do you do with that? Like where do you go from there? Like as a Black woman, as a professional Black woman like her, what do you do from there? Because I've dated women who have careers. I've dated nurses before. I've dated, hell, my one ex, who I'd lived with. She was going to school to be a surgical tech. She worked in a hospital for a little while. Now she's at a surgery center where I guess they only do like plastic surgeries and cosmetic surgeries or whatever. Because I'm pretty sure where she was working before, she wasn't making as much as she is now. And that goes with my ex-girlfriend now that I am currently, you know, trying to rekindle something or other with. She's a social worker. she was slinging drugs when we met. And when I mean slinging drugs, she was working at a drugstore or whatever. So I always would play with that she was slinging drugs, but she was slinging drugs, and she also worked at a doctor's office as well when we met. So it's like I've dated professional women before. Professional women are no different than regular, average working, you know, workforce women. They're no different. Same emotion, same feeling, same everything. It's just that she went through, I think it's 7 years you got to go through school when you're in as a lawyer, if not another 4 years on top of it. So, I never encountered any lawyers in my time, but you know what I'm saying? I probably would have tried to learn something or other if I did, but it's like it's this whole with women today of them not lowering their standards. That's what it is. But black men have when black men was at the apex of us not lowering our standards, of which that's when you started seeing black men date more outside their race, which happened somewhere around the say either the 60s or 70s on up. It's not that black women were bad, it's just they was looking for something different. That's it. And that's all. That's all that they was looking for. They were just looking for something different than what they was usually with or whatever. So I don't know, man. Like, if I heard to say, I'm not in the business to care about somebody's feelings, well, you're a public figure. Number one, you have to care about what people think about you because you're a public figure. You are a television host and you are a lawyer. So number one, do you not care about what your clients think and feel? Because let's say that a regular, I don't know what type of law she does, but let's say she was a defense lawyer. Would you not pick up a case because a black man who either committed a crime or was accused of committing a crime wasn't in the same tax bracket as you and had a mediocre job as such as a bus driver? Would you not take that case because of that? Because you think that, and I'm not saying this is how she thinks, but I'm just saying. Would you say that the reason why you wouldn't take that case because you think that man has a mediocre job? Is that the reason why you wouldn't take that case? Just ask. You know what I'm saying? We have to know these things because then, she's arguing her points and she's basically arguing her points from a vast amount of people coming at her. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? We're just trying to see what type of person you are. That's all. And that's it. So let's continue.
Off of the data and the facts. I am not okay, and I don't think it's okay that the vast majority of Black Americans, again, overpopulate, disproportionately occupy spaces that are not ideal, that make us vulnerable. I talked about the COVID, that make us vulnerable to death, disease, maternal health, all the things that y'all all talk about on this show every day. Now, if y'all are okay with the current positioning of Black America,
but such as what though? Are you like? I'm not understanding. Like, what common areas are we, occupying that causes death, disease, and whatever she said? Like what are these areas? Are you talking about the hood? Eboni K, did you come from the hood? Because it's not us. I can say that. It's not us. We didn't pick the life that we wanted. Well, yes, we did. We did pick the life, but we didn't pick the areas of which we grew up in. I grew up in the hood. I didn't choose to grow up here. But as a grown up, I had a choice where I wanted to live. Do I want to live in the nicer area of town or do I want to live in the bad area of town? I had to make that choice. Or is she talking about job choices? Hey, I wanted to be a UPS driver because for the simple fact that I can just be delivering packages all day and drive all day and be delivering packages. That's what I wanted to do. But am I doing that? No, I work in manufacturing. And I don't know if manufacturing pays more or if being a UPS driver pays more. I'm pretty sure what I'm making now is probably more of what the average UPS driver is making right now. So I'm cool at where I'm at. But are you cool with where you're at because you chose to go to school, better yourself, and stuff like that? Is it that now you regret your choice because now the pool of men of what you go for now is a very small amount? Plus, where are you looking? Because she said with Miss Van Zant, I've dated the gamut. Like I've dated white, black, whatever. Okay, what type of like from from what I'm hearing, from a lot of these podcast hosts, they're saying that the white man stopped talking to her because he wanted to spend more time with his family. Now I don't know if that's true or not, but if it is, then you should be trying to think to yourself, that isn't the type of man that I want to be with, because he'll leave me at the drop of a dime when it comes to something wouldn't wouldn't affect us by us being around each other. It's not as if, since it's quarantine now, that we're going to court. We're actually doing this shit from our house. We're doing this stuff from Zoom calls. So, he chose to do what he did. So, she's out here, I guess, projecting her unhappiness, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know her. So let's just continue. We got 2 minutes. 2 minutes and 20 some odd seconds left. So let's keep going.
That we are the lowest income, the lowest home ownership, the lowest educated group, then so be it. And let's just stop talking now and keep on going about our business. Envy, I'm not okay with it. So that is why I said what I said about addressing the bigotry of low expectations. It's the bigotry of low expectations is the reason why I have to submit that black men are now going to HBCUs and college and generally at half the rate of black girls and women. I don't think that's okay.
Shouldn't we address the system that put us in these
We
positions?
are addressing the system, but first we have to name it, Charlemagne. See, that's where people.
But that's a good question, though. It's not black people who chose to be in these areas. It was redlining, which is what we had to deal with. It was black people disproportionately not being able to get home loans like that, or being denied for certain home loans that they wanted. That's not our fault. That's not our fault. That's the fault of the country of why they act like that towards us. Like it's not our fault whatsoever. So anybody out there who's probably thinking that, like, well, it's probably our fault because no, it's not our fault. We wanted to live in or we wanted to have the same type of neighborhoods that our white counterparts wanted. It's not as if we were just sitting out there like, shit, I'm gonna be in the hood for the rest of my life, nigga. Like, fuck that. Nah. At a certain point in time in your life, you're like, well, I'd love to be in a nice house with my kids to where they wouldn't have to deal with the same exact fuck shit I had to deal with when I was living in the hood, when I was growing up, when I was their age. It's like, I understand her whole shtick. I understand it. If you want to have a family, and you want to instill good values in them, you don't want any sort of outward anything outside of the household to influence them. So I can understand, I can understand her, let's say she grew up in the hood. Not knowing if she did, but judging how, her demeanor and how she acts and it being refined by school, I can tell that she grew up in the hood. So let's say since she lived in the hood, she lived in a single parent household. Let's just say this. Let's just say when she was in school, she worked hard and she wanted to find somebody that was on her level, if not higher, and she didn't want to have to deal with the mediocrity that she would have to deal with that's in the hood. I understand it completely. But at the same time, DJ Envy's comments aren't wrong as well, because it's like, if you're looking at black men, let's just say she was saying this about black men. If you're looking at black men this way, then like, are you also looking at, you know, are you looking at just black men who are, let's say, on the lower part of the totem pole, or are you looking at black men that are professionals as a whole like that? I'm pretty sure that's what DJ Envy meant by what he was trying to say to her. So who knows? But let's see.
Feelings are getting hurt is the fact that I am naming it. I am saying that it is not okay to bring C's and D's through to your home and then expect to go on to higher education and acquire a higher skill set. And when you say that, that is hurtful to people, Envy. I'm acknowledging the pain. But somebody has got to start telling the truth to our people. And some of y'all wonder why you get the political representation y'all get, because some folks would rather hear things that make them feel good than understand and hear the things that are the truth.
My father was a military. He was a mechanic. He was a bus driver. He was a police officer.
So he was exceptional. Your father was exceptional.
My mother worked at Guardian Life Insurance. I'm the first person in my family to go to college, first person to graduate from college, and my parents put me through college. So I don't look at them as mediocre. I don't look at them as average. They are exceptional, and they did what they did to get their kids through all this stuff.
What you said is so different than what I'm talking about.
I am the same with them, and I am the same.
That is just not intellectually honest.
And the difference is what you said is, oh, you want to encourage and you want to do this. I do the same thing without putting people down.
I'm not putting people down. I'm being very honest.
I think you are, and people have been saying, I don't think you're listening. Like, as much as you talk, you're not listening to what people are saying.
Listening. I'm not bothered by that, though. I'm not
because
going
people
to be
are
shamed.
Hurt and they have opinions. Just like you have your opinion, you can't talk over people and not let people talk.
But you're also interrupting me, Envy.
I'm not. I was talking. You keep talking to me. I let you speak, and then I just started talking.
Okay, you got it.
I just started talking. I let you speak, and I waited for you to be quiet, and I started talking. You heard something that you didn't like, and you cut me off.
That's how it just went. Because once you start being intellectually dishonest.
Here we go. Now it's not Envy. Go ahead. No, that's exactly what happened.
Let's keep it.
No, but if I give somebody the platform to speak, and I let you speak, then I speak.
I've tried to make it clear with 3 different examples. I think y'all don't want to hear it, and that's okay, Envy. It's okay. Like you said, it's okay to disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we can argue semantics back, because that's really, at this point, this is an argument around semantics.
All right. So, I would say that on both sides, each person is right, because both people are arguing from their standpoint. Envy feels as though that she went at, people who choose to pick average regular jobs to be regular Joe Schmoes. And on her end, it's like, well, we don't have to deal with the mediocrity if we plant our flag and be better and be more than just what we think the country wants us to be. I understand that completely as well. But with Envy's comments of, you have to look at how people are dealing with this whole debate, of which is why I'm doing this podcast about this, is because her opinion counts just as well as Envy's, because we see this a lot. We see this with when it comes to black people who went to school and black people who didn't go to school. So it's 2 different lenses that you can look at this at, and it's who's right, who's wrong. Are both people telling the truth and being honest within their whole thing, or is something or other within this debate, is something not being brought up that needs to be brought up. And I can say I haven't found what needs to be brought up, but I will say this though. When it comes to women, women can be, they can be a bus driver, they can be a daycare caretaker, they can be a lunch lady, they can be a Walmart worker or whatever. They can be whatever the hell that they want when it comes to a job, and they can pick and choose what man that they want to be with by, seeing whatever it is that they do for a living, right? But men don't have that same luxury. We have to be more, so we can be sought out as being a good provider, being a good father, and all of this. Like you have to look at the scales like that. Like, not say, well, I am saying this. Women got it easy, but men don't. But men aren't supposed to have it easy. But here's the question: are women supposed to have it easy? Because, let's say somebody, and I'm pretty sure this does happen. Let's say that a man is dating a woman that makes $20,000 more than him. Is he less than because his woman makes more money than him a year? Or does she see something within the man that she's with and money doesn't matter? That's just the things we got to look at, instead of just, well, it's a bus driver is a mediocre job because of this reason. It's like, well, I don't know. It could be twofold. Like, you could look at this as she's losing her goddamn mind. She doesn't know what she's talking about. Or we can look at it like how, I guess, Envy's looking at it, and you should be more mindful of what you say, because people can take it the wrong way. And I don't think she really looked at the time of what she's in, because it's a lot of soft ass men these days. So her saying, "Oh, I only date a bus driver who owns the bus." Now you got these black dudes out here who've listened to Kevin Samuels, who are listening to all these other dickheads out here who does that same type of content, and then they're projecting it on the women that they want to date, basically talking down as if they shouldn't want these things. It's just something to think about. Like, she didn't read the room well, and I can see the disconnect from that, because, after a while, man, when you go to these schools and you around, these fascinating people, you tend to forget about certain areas and aspects of where you lived. And it's not her fault. I'll say that. It's not her fault. And that's what people should be looking at this like they're looking at this as if, I'm just now seeing this, Jay. How you doing, man? Yeah, I'm just now seeing this, which it's only been a minute, so I'm good. So what's up, Jay? But like, I'll say this will be the last thing, and then I'll get back into this article. For whoever went on to, I don't know if it was an Instagram post or a Twitter post where people were just reacting to the video of what she did. A great poet once said, when someone tells you who they are, believe them. She told you who she was. So did she lie about who she is? She said she would only date a man who owned the bus of which he drove or drives. Why are we getting upset about her her why are we getting upset about who she would date? Because who she dates is none of our fucking business. By people bringing up, and this is what people like to do a lot once they hear something once they hear something that they don't like about what someone said, they then dive in to see who the person is. That's why they started bringing up that she was engaged to a white dude. I don't see how that's important from what she's saying, because the way people are taking this is because, oh well, she dated a white man. It's like, okay, well, you're not upset because she said what she said, and now you know that she dated a white man. No, that's who she is. I can't get upset at that because I know the same type of game of which the white dude laid upon her won't be the same as mine. And it's this whole aspect of women, of men now wanting women to hold themselves accountable, and it's like you're beating yourself up, men. Y'all are beating yourselves up for to ask a woman to do something else, to do something that is new for them to do, because they've never had to take accountability for anything that they've done or said. So why now should women be held accountable for anything that they say or do? If it wasn't the same case, because when I was in my 20s, women did a lot of shit. What can I do other than either date them or not date them? That's the only two options that everyone has at this point. Either you date Eboni K and shut the fuck up, or you don't pass, or you pass her by. Like, this shouldn't even be a conversation at all, because it's simple. It's very simple. Anyway, let's get back to this article until the next video. Okay, so she says she believes that though conversational. Okay, she said she believes that though, oh, controversial. I said conversational. Controversial. The conversation is necessary for Black culture. One thing is for sure, Williams has never been shy about sharing her opinions, including that led to death threats among more than 100 messages from viewers who disliked her commentary, berating Trump for siding with violent white supremacists who rallied in Charlottesville in 2017. In her commentary, Williams described Trump's initial remarks on the melee at the rally as cowardly and dangerous. Williams said she was no longer willing to give Trump the benefit of the doubt that Jews, blacks, Hispanics, and the LGBT community are segments of the nation who are included in his campaign promise to make America great again. I don't know why this is in here and why this is a part of all this, but I guess it makes sense. She added that Trump did the math and calculated that he's willing to say anything to hold on to his racist base. Well, okay. I don't know where that sits with this. I believe it means nothing to the greater scheme of her comments. But Charlemagne the God said Paige and Dr. Umar, and for damn sure you know Dr. Umar got himself into this whole situation. So this is what Dr. Umar had to say about everything.
I saw that sister on the Breakfast Club this morning. What's her name? Erica K. Williams. What's the sister who was on there with Charlemagne and Envy today? Very well-spoken sister. What's her name? I seen her. What's the sister who was on the Breakfast Club today? Peace, African. I'll see you when I get in there. Let me finish this live. What's the sister's name who was on there today? What's the sister's name, brothers and sisters? Eboni K. Williams. Well-spoken sister. She made some great points, but dear Eboni, that's not what you was talking, sweetheart. That's not what you was talking. You was on some talented 10th bullshit, and you tried to take it back to the community this morning, sister. See, we can't talk out both sides of our mouth. We can't talk out both sides of our mouth, sister. We can't talk out both sides of our mouth. I didn't disagree with much of what you said today, but that's not what you said the other day, sister. You was talking down to working class blacks. You are a bourgeoisie. You are a bourgeoisie feminist, and I hope the guy you wasn't engaged to no white man, because I thought somebody said you was engaged to a white man. Eboni, I better not find out your ass was swimming in the milk. If I find out your ass was swimming in the milk, I'm going to lose a lot of respect for you, sister. Because what that tells me, if you were with a damn Neanderthal snow puppy, then you're telling me at the end of the day, you are trying to condemn black men to justify dating white. If you are an interracial dater.
Now, I don't know if that was her stance. Now, we're just making assumptions at this point. Like, there's no reason to make assumptions about her words. Her words were very clear of what she feels as though is suitable to date. She wants someone who owns and who has, things. Why are we then making this an argument of, well, she dates white men, so her words don't mean shit? It's like, well, if you look at what she's saying, she's not wrong within her stance. She's not. But we can't discredit her now because she dates white people. I date white people. Well, I did date white girls. I did. I don't anymore. But it's like, so I'm discredited for anything that I say because I dated white women? But that's just to say as if that's all I dated. No, I dated just like Eboni. I dated the gambit. The only parts of the gambit I haven't been able to date are Arab women and Chinese women. That's it. So it's like, where do we go from here? Because we're basically well, not we, because I'm not. They're dissecting this whole situation as if they're in high school. Like, y'all remember in high school, y'all heard something about what somebody said, and now everybody is upset at what this person says because they believed in them in some way. It's like, so they should be discredited for being who they are for the simple fact is that because you don't agree with them now? Like, make it make sense for me now. Like, I need to understand your whole stance on this, because if you're just blowing it out of proportion to the fact of, oh, well, she dated white men, so we can't believe a damn thing she says. It's like, but did you actually hear what she had to say? Because I basically pointed it out. You can deal with her one or two ways. You either want to date Eboni or you pass her by. That's it. I don't know. Maybe my thought process is off. I don't know.
If you are a bunny hopper, then what you are telling me is your whole diatribe, your whole rant against black men driving the bus was a justification so you can date a white man. I hope that ain't the case. I hope that ain't. You spoke well today, my sister. You still didn't deal with collective work and responsibility, though.
That's one thing she didn't bring up, and I will give Dr. Umar his credit for that. And I also said it earlier. She didn't bring up love either. So it's like, is the man that you want, is the man of your dreams, is somebody that you want to fall in love with, or just somebody who's going to be taking care of you? And with that being said, collectively, how is this helping black women within a whole? Because I'm pretty sure it's black women who look up to Eboni. So how is Eboni helping the average black woman with what she said? And how is it that, you're saying these things, but you haven't brought up love, commitment, and, you know what I'm saying? You're only bringing up, well, I would only date somebody who owns the bus. It's like, okay, cool. I like that. I like that you would like somebody like that, because that means that not only are you a go-getter, but that person that you're going for is also a go-getter. Makes sense.
Still heard a lot of Eurocentric individualism. I still heard a lot of Eurocentric individualism. And I don't know where you've been getting your reports from, sweetheart, but we got 2 million Africans with college degrees unemployed. We got 2 million Africans with college degrees unemployed because you was doing a whole lot of pushing college. You was doing a whole lot of pushing college today, like it's some form of upward mobility. I'm sorry, Sister Eboni K. Williams. College is not an opportunity for 21st century Africans. College is not an opportunity for 21st century Africans. It's putting us into debt to the banks, my sister Eboni K. Williams. So where is your solution for collective group economics? I didn't hear none of that. All I heard was European, Eurocentric, pull yourself up by your bootstraps individualism. That's all the hell I heard this morning. I wish I was there. I wish I was there. I wish I was at the Breakfast Club today with Eboni K. Williams. I had a few comments and questions for my sister. Oh, yes. No disrespect. I love my sister. I love my sister. Don't get me wrong now. And she said some good things today, but she departed from the original narrative she was pushing on our working class Africans the other day. She departed from her attack on black males with blue collar jobs. Eboni K. Williams, do you know that you got plumbers who make more money than doctors? Eboni K. Williams, do you know you got carpenters who make more money than surgeons? Eboni K. Williams, do you know you got chefs who make more money than engineers? You got plumbers who make more money than architects. I think.
Well, I would say because of the job, not the job market, but the housing market now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that a plumber and a carpenter and whoever else he named, probably is getting a bit more money than what they usually got, but that's just with the housing market and supplies and stuff like that to build the house. But at the same time, it's like, how long is that gonna last? Because a doctor still is gonna have his prices no matter what. You then, as a carpenter, as a plumber, or whatever, depending on how much the supplies are, is how you come up with your price. If you add labor in it as well, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, how much are you charging me for the labor, and how much are these parts? Because either I'm buying the parts myself so you can then work on what I need you to work on or build, or is your cost, everything, your labor in parts and whatever. So come on, Dr. Umar, you smarter than this. Come on, man.
Go look at your census data, my sister. You got to go look at your census data, my sister. You got to go look at your census data a little bit better, because I heard a whole lot of Eurocentric, pull yourself up by your bootstraps individualism. I didn't hear a single group solution on that conversation today from Sister Evan. I didn't hear a single group solution. I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real. No disrespect. I respect my sister. Very articulate, well-spoken, but I don't hear a lot of conscious energy coming from her. A lot of my middle-class, bougie black sisters, they on that individualism, Europeanism. Peace, Baba. I'm going to get with you in a minute. I saw a lot of European individualism, brothers and sisters. Where the group solutions at? Oh, just go to college and get yourself a job and save your money from your bus job and open up a business. Where the is the group solutions at, Eboni K? Are you related to Tasha K? Where the group solutions at? Where the group? I ain't hear a single group solution out that sister's mouth this morning. Not a single group solution. A whole bunch of feminism and European individualism disguised as collective work and responsibility. You can fool some of the people all the time, and all the people some of the time. You can't fool King Kong consciousness none of the time.
Now, by him saying that, I don't think it's up to her to us be looking at her as a thought leader. She's a lawyer, although she can be a thought leader, but she doesn't choose to be one. Now, by Dr. Umar Johnson stating that, she didn't come up with any type of group solutions and stuff like that, honestly, it's not her job. Plus, she has, a TV show or an internet show or whatever. So it's like, she's only talking about the things that she wants to talk about when she brings her guests on. So why is it that we're looking at her to be some sort of thought leader or drive a thought-provoking conversation? Because if you watch the full interview between her and Miss Van Zant, all they was talking about was femininity and masculinity. It's something that we hear every day here on the internet. So what was being brought out of that conversation that isn't being said on a daily basis here on YouTube? Like I didn't really get anything out of the whole what was it, 40 some odd minutes, 50 some odd minutes the interview was. I didn't get anything from that. I just waited for the part where everybody's upset at so I can listen and see, what was going on, what the big, uproar was about it. And then I was like, oh, well, this is some bullshit. I found out the timestamp of what I needed, and I got the fuck out. I got the fuck out the video. Like, it was nothing thought provoking about that video whatsoever. But anyway, let's keep going.
It's almost 5 o'clock. I got to get inside for Mutulu Shakur. It's almost 5 o'clock. Pull up. Rotunda, West Philly, 4014.
I don't know if he's going to be getting anything else other than that, but I just want to say this. I would like for the Breakfast Club to bring Dr. Umar up so he can give his stance on what he feels about what Eboni K. Williams was talking about. Like, I would love to know what his ideas are on that. Although I already know him, but still, it's like, what can you bring fresh to this conversation? Dr. Umar, I'm talking to you. What can you bring fresh to this conversation? What what new ideas do you have on this? What I don't know. What type of, like, are you gonna tell us what the ideal male is, or the ideal woman is? Like, do you have a good idea of what a great career is? Because you just said that college ain't shit because it's putting black people in debt. Maybe some people want to be in debt. Some people want to further their education just so they can, you know, be in debt for the rest of for the rest of their lives. I don't know, man. It's like we're just saying shit at this point. Like, we're just saying shit just to say it, like just to hear ourselves talk. Anyway, the second part of this whole thing is her response. Basically, she gave a response back about the situation, and she wants to set the record straight. So this is her setting the record straight of what people thought about her comments.
Today's sidebar starts with a note of gratitude. I want to thank the culture for making my interview with Dr. Iyanla Vanzant one of the most popular and actively engaged content offerings the Griot has produced. So before I tell you my thoughts, let's replay the clip that had some of y'all deep into your feelings. I do want you to speak, Iyanla, to how women need to position ourselves so that we can be in our divinity, so we can have our crowns right, how we can create and not build, when some of us, quite frankly, feel that the men that are available to us, and I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age spectrum, trust me, I've done them all, they are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics we just talked about. They're not earning the incomes. They're not having the resources, and some of them are not even showing up in the leadership.
Before Yolanda gives her side, we're not really granted the resources all that much. Like, we want them. Like, we want to be able to take care of our families just the same as our white counterparts, our Mexican counterparts, stuff like that. This isn't pick yourself up by the bootstraps type of conversation. This is basically, what do you bring to the table? And this goes into Steve Harvey's comments with young guys, because basically the same conversations being had right now, right? Steve Harvey had his whole little thing, right, with the him blaming black men for asking women, what do you bring to the table, right? And his whole thing was, you shouldn't be asking a woman what she brings to the table. The woman is the table. What are you bringing to the table, right? This is the same situation. Same situation. This is the whole what basically what Miss Van Zant was asking was, what do you want a man to bring to the table? Would you date a bus driver? She said no. But I would date a bus driver who owned the bus. Okay, so that means that a man who only works for the bus company isn't what you're looking for. Okay, that makes sense. Because a woman of your stature, a woman of your career and whatever you accomplished, that probably wouldn't look right. But at the same time, you don't know what that man could provide for you. That's the same thing with Steve Harvey's comment. The whole reason why most men ask women, what do you bring to the table, is because they ain't trying to be ass out once, they get into the relationship, they fall in love, and, what I'm saying, a little down the road of what another topic I'll be talking about after this one. Like, we ain't trying to be ass out and be going through divorce court, paying child support and alimony. That we don't want to be doing that. Because we saw that a lot doing when we was growing up. We want better for our kids, just like our parents wanted better for us. It's the same conversation being had. It's just, it got brought up in different ways. So we shouldn't be upset. We should just be, okay, that's who Eboni K is. We have to be fine with that. Because how can we change her if she's already set in her ways? She's 39. No woman at 39 is going to change the way that she thinks. Unless the man got $10 million. Let's keep going.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date
if he owns the bus? If he owns it. If he owns the bus,
that's a problem. That's a problem.
Now let's address the response to the interview and what some of y'all are calling a backlash. So let me be clear. First, I am a professional disruptor. So backlash is my business. And I will always take it on the chin for the sake of advancing the work, conversation, or movement. So know that I am completely unfazed by the onslaught of nasty comments, wishing me a sad, lonely, bitter existence until my untimely death. Now, that is some weird energy to be wishing onto a Black woman, especially one who has dedicated her life to the liberation of Black folk. But, whatever, I guess, go off. See, I wanted to talk about how do we close the gap between Black women who do show up in a so-called masculine posture, those of us that are providing and building and protecting due to circumstances that we might feel make us feel that if we don't do it for ourselves, we will have to go without the resources and protections we need to feel safe in this world. But Dr. Iyanla went in a different direction. She asked me a personal question.
Before we get into that, let's get into how we close the gap. Well, it's simple. It's simple and women don't want to hear it. Y'all have to be in your divine feminine, as what Iyanla Van Zant said. I want to get her name right. You have to be in your divine feminine energy and stay the fuck away from the masculine side of which almost every Black woman has partaked in, because they're either single mothers dealing with, children, or having to be the protector, provider, and so on and so forth. Okay, well, you have to get yourself a man in order for you not to have to deal with that side of things anymore. That's it. And like I said, although women don't want to hear that, it's just what it is. You have to be able to allow a Black man to lead. Now, where he leads you, I have no idea. But you have to be able to allow a Black man to lead. By only allowing a Black man to lead for whatever parts you need him to lead, and then you take over everything else, nah, that's not going to work. Unless y'all have a 50-50 relationship. But other than that, it's like, well, when you look at it from the stance of when you look at it from the stance of what she's talking about, it doesn't really seem as if she wants to. It kind of her words kind of sound disingenuous to the men who are basically telling her she's going to be lonely for the rest of her life and she's going to die with a million cats or whatever the hell they were saying. But you can fault those men for thinking that way, but their whole thought process is you're not feminine enough of a woman to be with a masculine male because you want what you want, but you don't care about what the man wants because you want what you want. But either way you swing it, it's sort of kind of like she's right within what she's saying of the career choice of what she picked. But at the same time, people who are upset, they're also right. Because they feel as though that it's a personal attack on them, not a upliftment from her. So that's just how they feel. And I don't blame them as well. They got the entire right to feel that way. But why are you arguing on the internet about this? This is basically a conversation starter where if you have a group of friends that, you know, derive of both male and female, men sit on one side, women sit on the other, and y'all debate the issue. What do you feel about this? What do you think about what she said about that? Why do you feel that way? Well, this is what I feel about that because I feel as though it's disingenuous that she said that. This is a conversation starter. But people aren't seeing it the way that some of us are looking at it. But, you know, this is something that you debate amongst men and women who know each other well. And you get out, you know, how you feel, you yell, you scream, you do whatever the hell you need to do. But certain issues should be resolved at in that conversation. And then y'all go from there.
And y'all know I have been extremely transparent about the fact that my life choices and my chosen lifestyle are far outside of the norm. So when I said that I would date the bus owner, a lot of y'all heard something different. Some of you heard the following. Bus drivers are whack. Bus drivers are broke. Oh, and I'm too good for a bus driver. The only thing is, y'all made that part up. See, I said what I said. But then some of y'all started talking about salaries and hourly wages, pensions and benefits. And that's wild because I was never talking about money at all. I was talking about Black ownership, but some of y'all made it about money.
She can say that. She can say that's what she meant, but that's not what people heard. That's one thing that I've had to come to grips with when I say certain things, and people taking them the wrong way, and then I gotta come behind and say, well, that's not what I meant. I meant this. That's not what they heard. Now, what people heard when you said you'll only date the guy who owns the bus, they heard in their mind gold digger, bitch. They heard funky hoe. That's what they heard after you said that. They didn't hear, well, I'm looking for, you know, Black ownership. I want a Black man who owns the bus company. You didn't say that because that's not what they heard. Just gotta deal with the way you said something that got conveyed a different way, other than what you're saying that you meant. But, you know, I digress.
About ownership, Black enterprise, and entrepreneurship, because really I am talking about Black liberation. And if you read my book, you'll understand why. So I'm standing 10 toes down on that position, and I don't really care if you're hurt or offended by it. And since some of y'all are already big mad, let me go ahead and make you incensed. So out of the 50,000 plus comments posted on social, I only saw a handful that even considered the possibility of a bus owner being a more aspirational position and recognizing that I am actually speaking and pouring into the ascension of Black men when I said what I said. But see, no, some of y'all were too busy naming and shaming me personally and Black women in general as undesirable, gold diggers, and much worse. Now, I suspect that some of y'all are the same men that were bringing home C's and D's on your report cards, only to then be coddled by parents that said, well, that's okay, as long as you're doing. ourselves so that we can be in our divinity, so we can have our crowns right. Selves, we owner being a more aspirational position. Go ahead and make you incensed. So out of the 50,000 plus comments posted on social, I only saw a handful that even considered the possibility of a bus owner being a more aspirational position and recognize.
Wait a minute, where is it?
You'll understand why. So I'm standing 10 toes down on that position, and I don't really care if you're hurt or offended by it. And since some of y'all are already big mad, let me go ahead and make you incensed. So out of the 50,000 plus comments posted on social, I only saw a handful that even considered the possibility of a bus owner being a more aspirational position and recognizing that I am actually speaking and pouring into the ascension of Black men when I said what I said. But see, no, some of y'all were too busy naming and shaming me personally and Black women in general as undesirable, gold diggers, and much worse. Now, I suspect that some of y'all are the same men that were bringing home C's and D's on your report cards, only to then be coddled by parents that said, well, that's okay, as long as you're doing your best.
That's what I believe that she's not getting. You can't say within your response, which isn't an apology, you're basically standing, as you said, 10 toes down on what you said. But you cannot then bring up the motherfuckers who's out there talking shit that they were the ones who are out here getting C's and D's on their report cards and bringing them home, getting coddled by their parents or just their mother by saying, well, at least you did your best. That's where you fuck up at. This is why. Because most of the time, yes, most of these motherfuckers that's out here on the internet talking shit, they probably got C's or lower. But that's where you're causing the issue, because then it's making it look as if you're looking down at these people. Now, I don't know if you are, if you aren't, but that's what they see. So that's the reason why you're getting die bitch die, or that's the reason why you'll be single the rest of your life, or you're gonna be in a house full of cats, or whatever the hell the comments are. That's what's triggering these men, because they know that they got C's and D's. That's the reason why that they're hurt. They don't want to then hear a woman that they're probably attracted to. They don't want to hear that she doesn't like a man when they were in school who only got C's and D's. That's what they don't want to hear. Now, your position is you don't give a fuck about what they think or how they feel, which is fine. But just know you now have created an enemy within the race that you're trying to help. That's what she's not understanding about this. But what can we do? She said what she said. What, you want her to apologize? Like, I'm not even asking for her to apologize. It's just this. It's certain things you can say, and it's certain things you can't. One of those things was you bringing up you can't have or the mediocreness of, I don't even know if that's a word. The being mediocre isn't what you look for in a man, which is fine that you think that way, because you shouldn't be looking at a man who you feel as though is mediocre to be a part of your life. You shouldn't be looking for a man like that. But I will say this, you are creating an enemy overnight about this. Even with certain Black women too, who stand up for Black men. Not even just Black women, just women in general who stand up for Black men. you're also creating an enemy out of them, because then you're fucking up your base at that point. Because let's say these women looked up to you and they rooted you on for the things that you do and who you are, because you was the first black cast member of the Real Housewives of New York and all of that. That's fine. And let's say that they was rooting for you for that, and then, you know, they followed you over here at the Griot and, you know, whatever. Like, then that's where you start creating enemies out of them too, because maybe they feel the same way, but they didn't want that information to be out at all either. That's basically where you're creating the enemy at. So, just something for you to think about, Ebony. Just be cautious of what you say here on the internet, because people are going to twist and flip what the fuck you say all the time. It could be somebody who's watching this right now, who's taking clips out of what I'm saying, and could try to discredit me of what I'm saying right now. You understand what I'm saying now, Ebony? You just have to watch what you say. But the thing is, I'm more careful about what I say, so I'll never get called up.
Well, listen, I love and believe in the excellence of black men. So no, my dear, C's and D's or any other form of mediocrity is not okay. No, I will not create a soft place for you or anybody that I love to fall comfortably into the bigotry of low expectations. So I'm going to say one more time, there's absolutely nothing wrong with driving a bus. My mother Gloria drove one for years. But could it be that Black America has been sold a narrative of average, regular, and typical being good enough for us? Well, see, that's called white supremacy. And in this case, it takes the form of conditioning Black Americans to happily accept being a permanent American underclass. But see, because I know the truth about Black folk in America, no, average is not and will never be good enough for me. And the gag is, I don't think it's good enough for you either.
Well,
Eva Marcille.
Well, she said what she said. Can we get upset? I don't think we can. Thing is, this stream was only supposed to be 2.5 hours, and it's now over that, and I still have more topics, which means that this topic hit certain people in a way that I don't even think, well, she'll be able to live this down. Certain people just look at her funny, that's all. So, I don't know. But that has been the main topic, people. That has been the main topic. I'm not even gonna read this article. And like she said what she said. This article that I was gonna read is like portions of an opinion piece. I basically gave my opinion the entire time, so we don't need to hear what the hell that guy was talking about. But let's move on to the random topics portion of the show. I have 3 great topics, 1 funny. And those are the random topics overview is Eva Marcille divorces her husband. Actor Anthony Mackie was misunderstood by the black internet for comments he made. And a hotel guest wakes up to his toes being sucked. Oh, y'all want to stick around for that? So, okay, let's get into this Eva Marcille thing. So let's play the video, and then I'll have my opinion after.
Eva Marcille, a star of Real Housewives, files for divorce from Michael Sterling. One of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make was this one, Marcille said in a statement. Eva Marcille, a member of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, has filed for divorce from her husband, lawyer Michael Sterling, according to a People magazine report dated Tuesday. According to People, Marcille claimed that their marriage is irretrievably broken in court records. In addition to Marley, Marcille's Marcel's child from a prior relationship with music producer Kevin McCall. The pair has 2 kids, Michael Jr. and Maverick, and they were married in October 2018. According to Marcel, this has been one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make, but sometimes life takes your journey in a way you weren't expecting. The 8.5 years we have spent together will always be cherished, and our children remain our first priority. Please respect our right to privacy at this time. The 11th season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta included a segment on Sterling and Marcel's opulent Atlanta wedding. Former America's Next Top Model champion Marcel participated in the reality series as a cast member. In June 2020, she made known that she was quitting after season 12. According to Entertainment Tonight, she stated in a statement at the time, "I believe that what I hope to accomplish for the culture and community will be better served by focusing on other opportunities." She also mentioned time spent with her family as a factor in her decision to leave the show. "I decided to spend my time and energy focusing on my kids and my community, and not so much on reality show business." This past Valentine's Day, Marcel and Sterling paid tribute to one another on Instagram. Marcel tagged Sterling's account when she posted a picture and a video of the couple with the message, "Happy Valentine's Day forever and ever," with the description, "My forever Valentine. I am so in love with you that there isn't anything else." Sterling, for his part, posted a picture of the couple cuddling. "Good luck on Valentine's Day. Hashtag the Sterlings."
Okay, so what happened? like what happened? This I'm not getting it. Like they had to have been fighting for more than because okay, this article in the next this topic in the next topic I'm about to cover. This topic is about a month old. The topic that I'm about to bring up when I'm done this one, the next one is 3 years old and it's getting traction. So let's get into this. So I'm only going to read certain portions out of this this article. So Eva is throwing in the towel on her marriage. Okay, this article is by TMZ. Throwing in the towel on her marriage with Michael Sterling, because she wants a divorce. The Real Housewives of Atlanta star just filed docs in Georgia, obtained by TMZ, asking the judge to officially end her marriage. She also makes clear that she and Michael are currently separated. Okay, it has to be because of differences. I don't know any other reason why she would get divorced, because she just in February stated that she wanted to, be his forever Valentine, love you forever and ever. This is April. So you mean in a 2-month span something happened to where she wants out now? But she filed for divorce, I believe, back in March. I'm sorry, this is May. So it's been 3 months since that post. But she filed for divorce in March. So what happened from February until now? Who knows? Anyway, in the paperwork, Eva doesn't cite or specify any given reason for the divorce, other than to say the marriage is irreparably blah 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 blah. Hold on. Irretrievably broken, and there's no chance of reconciliation, which is essentially irreconcilable differences. So that's basically what she's getting divorced because of differences. Now, within 3 months, though, what happened? Like, I'm not understanding what happened. All right, so let's continue. She does, however, lay out what she'd like to see when it comes to their three minor children, who are all younger. Then 10-year-old EM or M is asking for legal and primary physical custody. Eva says she should be the parent who has the final say on all decisions related to their kids, as she feels she's the fit and proper caregiver. Okay, now something happened within the marriage for her to cite that. Another thing she wants from Mike going forward is child support. But here's the kicker. One of them kids ain't his. One of them kids is from a relationship prior, from Kevin McCall, producer of the one hit that Chris Brown had, Deuces. He was also the second verse on that song, if not third verse, can't remember. But yeah, like, one of these kids ain't his, of which this is stupid as fuck for any man to do, and I'm not even in the manosphere to think this. This is stupid as fuck for a man to adopt a child from a prior relationship. Why? Why would you do that? Because if y'all divorce, you're responsible for the kid that's not yours. McCall signed his rights over of his child to Michael. So Michael is the legal caregiver for this child now. McCall ain't got a thing about shit. All he has to do, if in reason, if he is doing this, is just see his child. So you letting this nigga off scot-free, but the other nigga got paid? It's a cold world out here, yo. It's a cold world, god damn it. So basically, when it comes to assets, Eva says she wants an equitable split of everything they've acquired in the marriage and any debts they've racked up. Even Michael got hitched into. That's not even important, to be honest. So she says she's praised her now estranged hubby on camera to us too, so clearly things have changed. So I'm guessing that was that one picture where she had the cat glasses with the hat on. I don't really care what she had to say. It's just, my whole thing is it's something in this paperwork that's not being brought up. Something had to have happened. He had to either cheat or he had to have done something for her to be like, nah, fuck this, I'm out. And what is it? That's one thing that I would like to know. What the fuck is it? Because for her, and well, for both of them, let me not just say her. For her and him to look like they're so in love on it, which people play their relationships up on social media when it's not usually the way that they're showing us that it is. It's wild what 3 months can do to a relationship. But I still stand on, he had to have done something for her to want divorce and want to be primary caregiver, want him to pay child support, for her to be or for her to have the final say in anything when it comes to the kids. But she wants him to split any debts and what have you. So that means that the house that they live in, she wants a fair cut of that. Whatever cars they own, she wants to be able to pick out the ones that she wants to take with her. If they have a vacation home somewhere, she either wants to sell it or she either wants them to either split and make. Well, she probably won't even talk to them about that because it could easily be she and him get their wires crossed and they're at the vacation home at the same time with each other. Now both their vacations is fucked up. I don't know, man. Like this is a wild one. If there's any more information on this about what she actually divorced him for, I'll report it. You know what I'm saying? It's a random topic to talk about that I can spend a little time on. But anyway, next subject. This article comes from IndieWire. Anthony Mackie criticizes the lack of off-screen diversity on Marvel films. So this is what people are basically misconstruing his words for. And here we go.
Because when Falcon Winter Soldier comes out, I'm the lead of the show. When Snowpiercer came out, you're the lead of the show. So we definitely have the power and the ability to, ask those questions. Like, it really bothered me that I've done 7 Marvel movies now. Every producer, every director, every stunt person, every costume designer, every PA, every single person has been white.
Mm-hmm.
We've had one black producer. His name was Nate Moore. He produced Black Panther. But then when you do Black Panther, you have a black director, black producer, you have a black costume designer, you have a black stunt choreographer, you have a black, and I'm like, that's more racist than anything else. Because if you only can hire the black people for the black movie, are you saying they're not good enough when you have a mostly white cast?
That's what they misconstrued his words for. There's what everyone else is saying on the black interwebs is Anthony Mackie is basically a racist to black people because he feels as though that black people producing, doing costume design, doing gaffer work, whatever on a black film, which you should want black people to be working on a black film, but also Marvel should be looking at not only white producers and stuff like that for their movies. They should be looking at not just black people, but all races to be producers, directors, gaffers, costume designers, what have you. Like, they should be able to do the work just as much as their white counterparts. That's what people are misconstruing because they're thinking, oh, well, he doesn't give a fuck about us because he's saying that it's racist for black people to work on black films. No. That's not what he means. What he means is it's fucked up that only black people can only work on the black film, of which there's not many black Marvel movies that's coming out. What we got so far? We only have, within the MCU, we have Falcon, which is Captain America now. Falcon is given to an Asian guy now. That mantle of a character is given to an Asian guy now. So now we have Anthony Mackie as Captain America, of which I'm pretty sure he'll get backlash from the viewers because when black people take roles that they see white people in, they get upset. As as the guy who just played the villain in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, he's getting death threats. What else? Anthony Mackie. He's a Falcon. I'm pretty sure he got death threats and whatever. Shuri, Letitia Wright, she got death threats. Who else? Let's look at Star Wars. Moses, I forgot her last name. She got death threats on Twitter because she's playing, or she played a black person in the Star Wars lore that they think should have went to a white girl or a white man, because for some reason people don't want women in superhero films for some reason. I have no clue why. Let's look at the Asian girl who was in the recent Star Wars films. She got death threats. So do y'all want these black producers and all that getting death threats as well? Because that's what comes with being on a Marvel or a Disney movie or whatever. Because if y'all aren't looking at the backlash that Halle Bailey got for being Ariel, Jesus Christ. A black person can't be a fictional fucking character? All because why? Because the girl was white in the cartoon version of it? This shit makes no sense. Like, whatsoever. It makes no sense. Anyway, let's keep going.
Right. You know, so my big push with Marvel, with everybody is, you know, hire the best person for the job. If you look at it now, you know, there's no reason why you can't say, all right, well, I want, even if it means we're going to get the best two women, we're going to get the best two men, we're going to get the best two that, the best two this. Fine. I'm cool with those for the next 10 years because it starts to build a new generation of people who can put something on their resume to get them other jobs. You know, if we got to divvy.
And what better than hold on.
Percent.
What better than a Marvel film to have on your resume? Like, they pump these motherfuckers out every year. So it's like, I've worked on not only Black Panther, but I also worked on Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I also worked on a Star Wars project. I also worked on the Little Mermaid project. Like, they should be able to stack their resumes just as much as their white counterparts. And that's what I feel as though people aren't, like, people, I was saying this at work. People have low attention spans. Like, y'all wanting to be on TikTok and watch Instagram and Facebook Reels and YouTube Shorts, like, you gotta start getting this long form content in you, because your attention spans are very low to where you're jumping to conclusions and you're not understanding exactly what somebody's trying to say, such as an Anthony Mackie. For the simple fact is that he was trying to convey, you're not understanding the simple fact that we only had black producers and black whatevers on the black movie, but when it comes to these these other movies where it's going to be mainly a white cast, we don't have any black talent behind the camera as we would in front of the camera. Because we gotta remember, it's a whole bunch of shit that happens behind the scenes that we don't get to see. All we see always is the finished product. So I wonder why people walk out during the credits. Because you may not know that John McAfee will probably be a black dude. Instead of you think, oh, well, that's a white guy. Nah, that's a black dude. Uh, whatever the name I just came up with. Like, it's like, you don't understand that, you know what I mean? This is what they went to school for. They probably just picked the job up because they lived in Los Angeles or in Atlanta or in New York. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. Like, people don't really be looking at certain aspects of certain things because they have a fucking attention span that only stretches as far as a penny. Like, it's like, come on now. Like, come on. Anyway, let's get into these last couple seconds, and then I probably won't even deal with this because he basically just laid out everything right here.
Divvy it out.
Right.
At least for here. And that's something, you know, as artists, as leading men.
All right. So I'll read this. I'll read a little bit. Okay, so Anthony Mackie says it's bothersome that the 7 films he has made in the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been directed by white filmmakers and featured predominantly white casts. While speaking with Snowpiercer star, is it David Diggs? Because his name's spelled Daveed. I guess it's David. David Diggs for Variety's Actors on Actors video interview series. The actor behind the MCU's Falcon shared critical thoughts on Marvel's lack of diversity behind the camera. When The Falcon and the Winter Soldier comes out, I'm the lead, Mackie said of his upcoming Disney Plus series, which is old. This whole interview is old. When Snowpiercer came out, you're the lead. We have the power and the ability to ask those questions. It bothered me that I've done 7 Marvel movies where every producer, director, stunt person, costume designer, PA, and single person have been white. We've had one black producer named Nate Moore, Mackie continued. He produced Black Panther. But then when you do Black Panther, you have a black director, a black producer, a black costume designer, a black stunt choreographer. And I'm like, that's more racist than anything else. Because if you only hire black people for the black movie, and you're saying they're not good enough when you have mostly a white cast. Mackie made his MCU debut in Captain America: The Winter Soldier and is joining forces with franchise favorite Sebastian Stan for the upcoming Disney Plus original series, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, of which I said this shit is old. It's only because that was it. It's like a minute or so clip came out of him saying that, and people got their fucking panties all in a bunch. And it's like, you're not really sitting there understanding exactly what the hell he's saying. He's saying it's fucking racist to have only black people do the black movie, but when all these other movies come out, Spider-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, Doctor Strange, Captain America, Black Widow, Avengers, Avengers 2, Avengers 3, Avengers 4, Avengers 57. Like, it's just going to be white people doing all of the big work. Why can't, some black people come in on these movies, such as Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man, Avengers 1, Avengers 57, Avengers 116, Captain America 11. Like, why can't we do these films? Is basically what he's saying. Because we're just as good, if not better, than our white counterparts. So why is it that we have to sit here and deal with the ridicule of only doing the black film, of which Black Panther was the first Marvel film to gain $1 billion at the box office. Also, it garnered a lot of Academy Awards, such as the costume designer winning her first, if not her second, Oscar award. So it's like the film is to be praised, but it's like, we got snubbed. Well, I'm saying they got snubbed this year. Really, Angela Bassett, because Angela Bassett gave a very good depiction of what it looks like in a world that doesn't have a Black Panther anymore. Like, she did that the best way she could, because gotta remember, this is what black men and most men got upset with. You dealt with the first movie where Chadwick Boseman was the lead and he was the focal point of the whole movie. Chadwick Boseman ain't here no more. So then you got motherfuckers that's getting upset because the whole entire cast is a bunch of women. Well, you got to look at the creation of the comics, of which Jack Kirby and Stan Lee basically drew this comic into existence to make not only black men look powerful, but black women as well look powerful. Dora Milaje, anybody? Also, you got Angela Bassett as Queen Mother Ramunda, who now doesn't have to play a back seat role. She can be in the front seat at this point. Not willingly, because we lost Chadwick Boseman, due to medical reasons or whatever. But still, it's like the show must go on. So what are we going to sit here and cry wolf? Or are we going to sit here and do our fucking jobs? And that's what they gave you. They gave y'all the best performance that they could do without the leading man still being here. But everybody got upset because what's her name? Okoye is sitting there whooping ass. Well, that's what her character is known for, is protecting the kingdom of Wakanda. And she is the very person who trained every single last Dora Milaje that is underneath of her. That doesn't call her being a powerful woman within the universe of Black Panther? I don't understand. But we hate them for that. We hate that the women look that powerful in a movie that where men were supposed to shine. But guess what? The main leading male wasn't here. But also this. Gotta look at the dualities. The first film, the men got pushed forward. Then, second film, the women get pushed forward. What's the issue with that? I don't understand. Like, we're always talking about, the black community needs to be balanced because it's too much women having too much masculine energy, and then you can't talk no sense into them, and it's like, be a better man. It ain't hard, is it? But I guess I'm wrong, though. But anyway, I digress off of that. All right. This next topic. Going into the next topic. By the New York Post. Tennessee hotel guest wakes up to night manager sucking on his toes. I definitely have to read this article because this shit is hilarious. Here we go.
Information this morning as a suspect has been charged with aggravated burglary and assault after entering a man's hotel room. A very disturbing story unfolding downtown. 52-year-old David Neal is charged with aggravated burglary and assault after he entered a guest's room at the Hilton Hotel and allegedly committed sexual acts. The man reported that he woke up to find Neal sucking on his toes. He immediately confronted him and recognized him as a member of the hotel staff. Neal admitted that he entered the room but claimed he did so due to the smell of smoke. There was no record of that claim. Detectives issued warrants against Neal, who was arrested at his home in Lebanon Friday. Neal remains jailed on a $27,000 bond.
All right. Sucking on his toes, huh? All right. So here's the article. It's short. It says, an evening manager of a Tennessee hotel, which was really in Nashville, was arrested after he snuck into a man's room and sucked on his toes. According to police, David Neal, this is what he looks like. He looked like a toe sucker. David Neal, a 52-year-old manager at the 4th Avenue South Hilton Hotel in Nashville, allegedly crept into a male guest's room while he was sleeping on March 30th and got intimate with his feet. According to Nashville Metropolitan Police, Neal made a key card to get into the room and entered around 5 a.m. WKRN reported the guest told police he woke up to Neal's mouth around his toes and immediately confronted him. All right, let's take him down. Immediately confronted him. He recognized Neal as one of the hotel employees who came into his room the day before to fix his TV. According to police, Neal admitted to police that he had entered the room, but claimed he did so because he smelled smoke and wanted to make sure the guest was okay. What was he trying to do? Suck the fire out of his toes? Like, what the fuck was going on, man? I smelled smoke, so I entered your room so I could suck on your toes because you had fire in your toes. Like, what? Anyway. Police said Neal never reported smelling smoke to security, and there were no other reports of guests or staff smelling smoke at the hotel. See, that motherfucker who got assaulted started talking to the other guests and was like, "Did you smell smoke last night?" "Oh no, I was asleep. I didn't smell anything. I didn't hear anything." And went to the next guest. "Did you smell smoke this morning?" "Oh no, I was working out around about like 4 this morning in the gym. I didn't hear anything or smell anything about any smoke. So, no, sir, I didn't smell any smoke." And he was like, "But this motherfucker came in my room talking about he smelled smoke." It was the fire in your toes, homie. The room key was not recovered, cops said, because the dude threw the shit out after he was done. Kind of like a condom. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Neal told investigators that he had thrown it away. He was arrested at his home in Lebanon on Friday and charged with aggravated burglary and assault, according to the police. He is currently jailed on a $27,000 bond, according to WKRN. Totally gross. But that's what happened. All right. So, people, that has been the show. What has the show been about today? Some people who might just be coming in. So I talked about Eboni K. Williams and her argument about femininity, masculinity, and mediocrity. Iyanla Van Zant said or asked her if she would date a bus driver. Eboni K then told her that she would only date the person who owned the bus company. And people got upset. And I basically laid out myself how I feel as though that the comments towards this shit was stupid. Towards her more, because you're basically making a woman feel uncomfortable because you're probably, in that area of what she's talking about, and you don't like it because you should think that she should just mind her business. Anyway, with that also being said, also spoke about Eva Marcille and her filing for divorce from her estranged husband. All I can say is it's more to what she's telling TMZ and other outlets. Something had to have happened for them to look so cute and innocent together to now they're like, nah, fuck that. It's, we're gonna split up. Like, something had to have happened. Like, you just don't come out of the blue talking about, I love you, Valentine's Day is great. I want to be your forever Valentine, and then what? Like, y'all split up? Makes no sense. Also, I spoke about Anthony Mackie and how I feel as though he was misunderstood because of what he said. And I feel as though people should be looking at, they should be actually paying attention to what he's saying instead of just jumping to conclusions. And then I just spoke on the hotel manager of him sucking the guest's toes. I guess he smelled fire in his feet, so he had to put that fire out with his mouth. So I don't know, man. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's a crazy world we live in, where motherfuckers just come in your room and start sucking on your toes. This shit is weird, cuz. This shit is totally weird. Get it? Anyway, that has been the show. Let's get into these promotions. Alright, y'all. Every Friday, I do a game stream called Marcus Speaks Play. You can tune in every Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or check the video periodically to see if I change the time at all. At any given moment, something could pop up, and I have to do something before I come on the stream. So please check the time. Usually the time is 6:30-ish, or it's another time. You're just gonna have to see what it is. Check it out. Also, Saturdays, just like today, I do this here podcast called Marcus Speaks Live. You can also see that at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday. But make sure you don't forget, come and check me out, because you don't want to miss none of this. If you could, please, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe to this here channel and hit that bell icon to all. Also, go to the description box, go to my Rumble link that's there. It's www.rumble.com/Marcus Speaks, and go there, subscribe to me there, because I want to start using Rumble for this here podcast. So when I start getting people on here talking to me, shit gets spicy. You just cut this and go straight to Rumble. Alright? So, if you ever want to come up and speak to me, you can. One of two ways. You can hit the link that's sitting right there, always pinned in the live chat, along with the number that you can call in at 302-283-9791. I do repeat, 302-283-9791. So if you ever want to come up here, you just got to follow a few rules, just small minor rules. Those are where the link, if you want to come up, you have to be on camera when you come here to stopping or I'm not going to deviate from how I do things because you want to do it another way. I'll just kick you off and talk to the next person. So make sure you come back here with your camera on and answer the question that is back here in the private chat. Also, if you don't want to be on camera to the public, that is fine. Answer the question that's here in the private chat. All right, so I can further accommodate you from there. And this is for the link and the number. Please silence all background noise. Have a headset on, like some wired headphones, so I can talk to you. And you can drown some sound out. And also, if you could, please like this video, share this video, and subscribe to the video. I only have one last thing for y'all, and that's some words of wisdom. Please focus on getting to the money. Y'all know money makes the world go around, and everybody loves to get money. Also, please drink more water for health purposes. Water helps you lose weight, hydrates you, and makes you feel better at it. Plus, water is essential to life. Mind your own business for health purposes, mental health purposes. Because once you're in everybody's business, you want to know every damn thing going on. What the hell crazy. Also, if you haven't believed any goddamn thing I said tonight, well, that's one thing you can do. Do your own research. It helps you out in the long run. I have been Marcus. This has been Marcus Speaks Live. People, I thank y'all for watching. I'll check you guys out next Friday on Marcus Speaks Play. And I'll see y'all then. Peace out.